This is the Say It Can't Gamer, and you are live with the MMA. Oh!
Mixed martial a-holes. You like to be a mixed martial a-hole.
No way.
From the Queen Studios of New York. What in the holy hell is going on with UFC 230? Bellator 207 and 208 Fight Week. UFC 229, yeah, we'll talk about that too. Here on the MMA. Yes. Wonderful. What's going on, friends? TGIW. It is Wednesday night. Our weekly show is here. It's in full effect. And we have a spectacular experience for you tonight. Jessie is putting on Instagram our post.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah,
it's great.
So don't tell them what the surprise is. Or
should we tell them?
Well, we'll just tell them.
Or should I just show this as a hint?
Just go to Instagram at the MMA Holes over there on Instagram, and you can check out our wonderful post. Tonight, we have 2 hours strong, and we will open up the phone lines. I know on the Monday show, we didn't have Save the Show, but tonight is 2 hours, two hours strong, and we're going to open up the phone lines because we want to get your thoughts on the melee of UFC 229. Conor McGregor gets cranked out by Khabib Nurmagomedov. We're going to talk about what is next for the two of those fighters, but check this out over here. What the fuck? Derrick Lewis versus Daniel Cormier. We reported this from the car yesterday. That gets dropped on us as a main event. So we start off saying, okay, we got ourselves a main event. Is it the perfect main event? No. We're going to dabble into that. But it was good. At the time, it was real good. It was...
That's it. Yeah, good.
I was pumped up. I was fired up. Now, Jessie, when you heard the news about Derrick Lewis versus Daniel Cormier, you got to admit, you were a little excited about that, right? At least we had a main event.
Yes, 100%. Well, I'm a very big Daniel Cormier fan. I do like Derrick Lewis a lot. I can't say I'm as big a fan of Derrick Lewis as I am Daniel Cormier, but I am still a decent fan of Derrick Lewis. So just knowing that those two are going to go at it, it pumps me up. I'm ready. I'm excited.
It's a bizarre fight. I love both of the guys, both of them, Derrick Lewis and Daniel Cormier. I've had autistic reactions to both of them. In fact, you can check out UFC 229. You see me flipping out over Derrick Lewis with his last second knockout over Volkov. But this is the thing that gets me super excited. Okay,
Tell us.
Fact that Mystic Moss, the mysticalness it's amazing, right? Before the year is up, Jessie has a special proper drink in her hand. I will be having some myself. But before the year was up last year, all the MMA holes were like, Mystic, the Mystic one. Who is going to be the heavyweight GOAT of 2018?
Yeah.
And I didn't hesitate. Actually, Michael Anzalone, if you are in the chat, let's see if you could do some research on that one. It was at the end of the year last year, and people were asking me who is going to be the heavyweight, the king of the heavyweight division. And I said Derrick Lewis. In fact, I got laughed at because Francis Ngannou was still on top of the game over there. You still had Stipe Miocic. You had these people that were on a crash course for each other, and no one was really talking Black Beast. Mystic was. And not only did I say that he was going to be the heavyweight GOAT, I said he was going to be champion. It was a bold statement, and it still is a bold statement because he's got a tough task with Daniel Cormier. In fact, right now, as it stands, I have to pick Daniel Cormier. It's tough to pick the Black Beast.
Right.
But could you imagine if I pulled that out of my ass before the year started? I mean, that was a good call right there.
I mean, it makes me wonder if you can't pat yourself on the back yet because it hasn't happened yet. But it does make you wonder if you are indeed this all mystical one, which you've shown yourself so far.
I'm very mystical.
But if this mysticness holds up and Derrick Lewis is indeed going to become the champion by the end of the year, why wouldn't you put your pick on Derrick Lewis instead of Daniel Cormier?
I have to think about it. I've been trying to angle my thoughts to pick the Black Beast, and I'm not guaranteeing Daniel Cormier is going to win this fight yet. I'm going to give you my, once UFC 230 comes, and it's very close, once it falls in on our laps, fight week, then I'm going to give you a guaranteed pick for that one. But right now, as it stands, I got to go Daniel Cormier. My guy Daniel, DC the double champ.
Yes.
But I have arguments.
For Derrick Lewis.
And I might go in favor of the severe underdog right now, the Black Beast. On short rest, you know, the guy said he wasn't in shape for the last fight, and now he's going, let's just jump in another quickie, get that strap. It's unbelievable. All right, so now that is the main event, and that seems like it's set in stone. Hopefully, knock on wood, right? Now you have Nate Diaz dangling around, supposed to be fighting Dustin Poirier. And what happens, Jessie? What the fuck happens?
Dustin Poirier gets injured, pulled from the UFC 230 main event, and Nate Diaz is left hanging with no opponent. They have not found an opponent for him, and he is pulled off the card.
Horrible news. I see in the chat they're saying, can we get an extended version of the MMA news song? You know what's funny? Still, to this day, we have not played the entire Jessie's news song.
I beg of you, can this be the night?
Only
you
pieces.
did say that one day we will play it. Can this be the day?
We'll see how the show goes. Do you want to
Hi,
hear
Pablo.
the whole song? Hit me with the ones in the chat.
Pablo Garduno Vigil. Hola.
What up,
¿Cómo
Pablo?
estás?
All right, so here's the deal. Now Nate Diaz, they were talking about, all right, well, who's he going to fight? Actually, we spoke about this last night when the news dropped, right? We're like, well, who's Nate going to fight? We were narrowing it down. Kevin Lee, we kind of, at the end of the stream, in the beginning, we were dabbling into that. And then at the end of the stream, we were like, I don't know if he's going to be ready in time, cutting all that weight. I don't know if that's a possibility. And we were right? Last night, we were right about that because Kevin Lee is scheduled against Ali Quinta, which the MMA holes were the first people to drop that news. And I shit you not, I even threw it in Ariel's face on Twitter like he gives a fuck. But yeah, Ali Quinta said on this show that Kevin Lee Al is going down December. He said the 12th, but it's the 15th. And yeah, so the MMA holes get the news to you first because we are wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
The bad news is Gaethje automatically on Twitter turned it down. He's like, no, he made a deal to himself that he's not going to fight on a short notice. He's not going to do that, Gaethje. And understandable. That would have been fire. You didn't want to see that anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? But now, the options aren't there. Yeah. We are destined to see Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor, number 3.
Right.
I mean, it's inevitable. They yank Nate off of UFC 230. Valentina Shevchenko has been pulled off as well. We're going to look at the UFC 230 card, but now Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor 3 is a guarantee. The question is this: do you feel that they will squeeze that motherfucker in before the year is up, Jessie?
No.
Think about it. I was thinking about it when I was taking a shit before.
No, not before the year is up. No.
Wonderful.
All right, tell me about what you were thinking about while you were taking a shit.
Well, I was taking a shit and I was slapping the toilet paper. Of course, we roll it over, right, when we pull it down. Never under. You want to put it over the toilet paper, right? It's like, pop, 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 pop. I'm like, well, Nate's probably going to fight Conor number 3, right? They probably pulled him off the car and was like, Nate, listen, you got the Conor fight, right?
Doubtful.
It's happening. You don't think so?
No, I think Nate Conor 3 is a possibility. I don't think it's going to happen before the year's up.
Well, yeah. What I'm saying is they got to him. It's like, Nate, you're fighting Conor McGregor. Now let's talk about time frame.
Shout out to Kevin Costa.
Kevin Costa, what's up? And we're gonna get to the chat in a second because we want to get your thoughts on this. But Nate, it's got to be the fight. It's the only thing I can think of. Everyone's getting matched up, and it's the only thing that's going to give Nate that big super payday that he wants again. Conor wants another payday,
right.
And it's just the only thing that kind of makes sense right now because we were kind of waiting around. Hey, is Nate going to get past Poirier? What's going to happen? Win or lose? Does he get a title shot? Like what? He's calling out Khabib, right? But I don't see it. I don't see Nate Khabib. I would like to see it. Don't get me wrong. I would like to see that fight.
I don't know if I'd want to see Nate versus Khabib.
Just for these sloppy mess of things, I would like to see it.
I could see why. I definitely see why someone would want to see that fight. But I think there's just so much going on drama-wise between certain fighters. You've got Conor Khabib. Now you've got Ali Quinta versus Kevin Lee, which is awesome. But when it comes to Nate Diaz, when you think Nate Diaz is coming back, the first person that comes to your head, or to my head at least, is not Khabib. It's Conor, of course. But if they were to set up fights that led up to that, to Conor Nate 3, I would want it to be a Poirier or, Kevin Lee or something like that. I wouldn't want it to be Khabib, because to me it's like...
Listen, ranking wise, I get it, but as a fight, I want it. I would want Nate Diaz versus Khabib. Oh, 100%. I would want that. Now, I'm not saying Nate's going to beat Khabib. I would have to go with Khabib with
Nate
that
would
one.
get mauled, 100%.
But I would love to see that fight. I would absolutely love to see that fight. The lead up to it, Nate Diaz is not Conor McGregor trash talk, but he's got his own swag, he's got his own style, and that can get under Khabib's skin,
Right.
And inside the cage, the Stockton slap, Khabib going for the takedowns, Nate with his boxing skills. Nate's got some serious boxing skills, and don't forget his ground game. He's pretty slick on the ground.
He's not
Bigger
as
guy,
good on the ground as Khabib.
not as good as Khabib, but
really.
his jits is tight. His jits is strong, and he's long and lanky, and he's bigger than Conor McGregor. We got a tough Nate Diaz. Now, listen, we can't really break down the fight right now, but as a fan, I would love to see Nate versus Khabib, but what we're going to see is Nate Conor 3. The question is it going to be before the year is up? UFC 232 looks like a fantastic banging card. We're going to be talking about that. Maybe they throw them on there and make just a super card at the end of the year. It's possible. Or the beginning of next year. The reason why I'm thinking they might cram it before the year is up is Conor's going to want to get back in there quick, right? Nate has been training. Nate's going to want to get it going, right? And the UFC always likes to end strong, right? So if you're going to end the year strong, why not go for that? At the beginning of the year, we never really see super cards. January, it's not known for like super cards. Usually it's like 2 good fights and a shit card. So maybe they cram it in. Let's see what the chat says over here. Jessie, what's going on in that chat room?
Maverick Musique says Diaz has a chance. He can study what McGregor done and learn from the fights with Conor. I think it would be a good competitive fight. Daniel R says a taller guy is easier for Khabib to lock their legs. Weezing336 says Conor walked in there with his hands down, smiling, then pow, ended up on his ass and realized he wasn't ready. T-Joint says 40 likes, 40 likes. I've got fucking 40 likes.
He says correctly because let's do it.
20 likes, 20 likes.
I've got fucking. We got 40 likes.
20 likes, 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes.
20 likes.
20 likes.
I've got fucking 20 likes. Yeah.
20 likes, 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes.
Hope the dislike style leprosy.
That goes out to Sean Hart over there, 160 watching. Welcome to the show. Every time we get 20 likes, we play that stupid song over there. Shout out to our sponsors, TygerLyfe Energy and Duplex Entertainment. Links in the description. They are wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
We're talking about Nate Diaz right now. He is pulled off of UFC 230. Want to know your thoughts? What's next for Nate? We think Conor. Jessie, what do you think on this one?
We talked about it a little bit last night. I know it sounds so far-fetched. It sounds so out there, and it's probably not going to happen.
Hold on.
I
Don't do
know,
it.
No, I know you're going to say, it's impossible, it's not going to happen. And I was reading a comment earlier, and he's probably on a medical suspension from his last fight. So it's impossible for it to happen. But if we're talking in terms of just what I'd like to see, not what's possible, but just what I'd like to see, Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Nick Nate. I thought you were going to say that like you said yesterday.
No,
Okay.
get over that. Jesus.
Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz. Of course I would like to see that.
I would love to see Tony Ferguson, Nate Diaz.
And I think we have the medical suspensions on MMAs.com. How long
I didn't check what if Tony Ferguson even had a medical suspension, but I would assume so. That fight that he had just had, I mean, they'd be crazy not to give him a medical suspension for that fight.
Why would Tony Ferguson fight Nate Diaz besides money?
That's a good point. I mean, there's
Why
not
would he
really a
fight
title. It would be a good fight. To me, it would be an entertaining fight.
It would be the dumbest fight that Ferguson can take, though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if he was like,
Well,
hey,
yeah,
fans, you want to watch
Ferguson
the fight?
wants to go for the title, of course.
Yeah.
I'm saying this strictly as an MMA fan, just a fan of the sport, a fan of watching specific fights and certain fighters. Just in that aspect, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see Ferguson Diaz. Is it smart for Ferguson? No. Is it smart for Diaz? Definitely not. But I would just like to see it put. I think it would make for a good fight.
If we're just talking good fights, give me Gaethje versus Diaz.
You really think so?
Yes.
You
It's
are
just because I
stuck on
want two
Gaethje.
dopes in the cage that love to
Gaethje
get
is
punched
the
in the
most
face.
headstrong fighter. Like, I swear to God, that kid goes in there. Well, actually, take that back. His last fight, Gaethje's last fight, he defended his head a little more, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Gaethje had a little better
but
head
he
movement. Whoops, where is it? Yeah, but I got to say this: it's a good, and like Vanship Man says, it's a great matchup. It is a great matchup, but we got to be realistic. You know, like I mean, to me it seems impossible unless
Ferguson
there was.
has no medical suspension. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
Ferguson
he doesn't have any. So
medical
there you
suspension.
go. I mean, I don't know. I think the whole chat room would love to see that, right? I think the whole chat room would love to see Ferguson versus Diaz. It's just, I can't wrap my head around it because it's not going to happen. You know, like it would be tough. I think we have a better shot of seeing Nick and Nate fight than Ferguson versus Nate.
Haha. You're so funny.
Let's see what we got going on in that chat. We're going to do the news. There's the 20 likes logo. Check us out on Podbean and on iTunes as well. We are destroying it. The audio version of these shows, we do 3 shows a week, killing it on Podbean and iTunes. It's free. Go over there, follow us, and check it out.
Daniel R. says, Jessie, you're gorgeous with all respect. Thank you, Daniel R. I appreciate it. You're so kind. ProTool44 says Profit Muscle needs to make on run for the UFC. They will not fight each other, says Joey Faggot, or Junk Savage says murmur. Mike says you look like a bum version of McGregor.
So,
You mean a better version of McGregor?
Yeah, he spelled it wrong.
Michael Chapman says Tony versus Khabib, you cunts.
Whoa.
Evil Duck 616 says Moss gets True Giordi on the show. Would be amazing.
True.
Who the fuck is that guy?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The Dark Project 01 says, are Jessie and Chris together? And H says, lick my balls.
By the way, Kevin Coast is saying you backwards cunt. That's probably the best thing that came out of the McGregor-Khabib thing. You know, McGregor takes a nasty L, right? And the best thing is backwards cunt. I think that might be the best thing that I can take out of it. Yeah, because maybe we should make, you know what? That should be a soundbite, right? We should get rid of one of the Conor soundbites over here and have the backwards cunt soundbite, because I think that might be the one shining moment from Conor's disaster of an experience against Khabib. A couple more comments and we're going to get into the news. Guys and gals, we hit 15,000 subscribers during our live UFC stream, UFC 229, and we almost got 500,000 views on that video. So let's have a drink. 500,000 views, motherfuckers. This channel exploded. So here's the deal. We're almost at 15K again. We'll let the dragons loose for a proper 15K. If you're not subscribed, give us a sub, because we are the greatest MMA show on YouTube. Jerking off the proper 12. Yeah. All right. Here we go. We've tried this before. I like it. I mean, I got to say,
How much would you like?
I like the price and I like the taste. All right. We'll do a little bit of that. I'll sip on this shit. Thank you. Cheers. Salute to the wonderful, wonderful MMA host. JBH got head movement. She also has TygerLyfe Energy with her proper 12. Cheers. And a toast.
The best way to have proper 12 is with TygerLyfe Energy.
It's good. It is good. But I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. Me personally, I like my TygerLyfe separate. I had it before I went to the gym, right? And yeah, it really doesn't show, but yeah, I go. And I have my TygerLyfe before the gym. It works fantastic, no crash. But I like my alcohol with nothing in it. Like I don't want ice.
I'm just listening.
I don't want anything. I don't want anything sweet. I don't want nothing in my alcohol.
You know me. I drink it the same way. I like drinking whiskey and scotch neat. I'm the biggest fan of drinking it neat, but this is the first time Saturday was the first time I had it with TygerLyfe, and it's actually not that bad.
Her and my father said the exact same thing. They said TygerLyfe mixed with this is, well,
wonderful.
Really,
so there you go.
bad.
So I mean, listen, a true alcoholic just doesn't want anything in there. You know, you want that shit to burn all the way down. So that's
little
how that
by
works.
little, Sean Hart. I'm getting better little by little. Right now, it's just the throat and the nose.
Kevin Costa wants to know, is it available in Canada?
Maybe.
TygerLyfe is available all over the place. Link in the description. Proper 12 all over the place as well. You can get it online, and local stores should have it now, so you can get both. But yeah, if you want some TygerLyfe Energy, by the way, Marky Wahoo, you'll be getting your TygerLyfe Energy very shortly, signed by the one, the only JBH. So that is that. We have one more subscriber, and we're going to hit 15K, and we're going to do the news. Hey, look at this. Felony. Excuse me. Felony Charles Bennett's buddies, Dope Sick Jones is here. What up, Dope Sick
Took you
Jones?
long enough, Dope Sick.
Good people over there. Shout out to Felony. Check it out. We have the Felony Pillow. Charles motherfucking Bennett. We have him as a featured channel over here, and he's wonderful. 20 likes. We're going to open up phone lines tonight, motherfuckers. We got the news. And we got Proper 12. 20 likes.
20 likes.
I've got fucking 20 likes.
I hope the dislikes die of leprosy.
There are 11 leprosy victims, and we have 15,001 subscribers. And let's do it, friends. Let's let the fucking dragons loose, Jesse. You ready? Release the dragons! Everybody, let the dragons loose!
Subscriber goals. Subscriber goals.
Let go!
Subscriber goals.
MMA holes!
Subscriber goals. MMA holes. Subscriber goals. MMA holes. Subscriber goals.
Loose!
Subscriber
Blowing flames all over the MMA community. Luke Thomas, Mark Ramani, Ariel HELWANI, we're here to stay.
subscriber goals.
Kimbo motherfucking Slice.
Greatest channel on YouTube. The MMA holes.
Let's go.
World domination.
Thank you so much, friends. Welcome to the show, the new peeps and the old peeps. You are all wonderful. Wonderful. Jesse,
Jessie?
it's Wednesday night,
Yes.
and it's time to give people what they want. The
What?
people what they need.
Yes.
The news.
Are you guys ready for this? It's the best song I've ever heard in my life.
Strap
First
in.
song ever dedicated to me was this one.
Well, maybe it's another Jesse. Jesse James. What?
Jesse.
Everybody take your lighters out.
Read us.
The news. Everybody sing along. It's news time on the MMA Holes.
Oh, Jesse.
It's so romantic.
I want the MMA news.
So beautiful. Everybody fap in the chat.
Fap.
Wake up,
So nice.
finish work,
A cumin.
Whatever
you do.
It's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be okay.
That's right, the MMAholes.com.
JBH has
Oh,
you
it's beautiful.
covered with the MMA news.
Everybody sing along.
Jesse, read us
The news. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sing along. So close, yet so far. You still have a bridge and another chorus, so you don't get to hear the rest of that song. But Jesse, what is in the news?
Wonderful.
Kevin Lee versus Ali Aquinta is set for UFC Milwaukee, according to Low Kick MMA. UFC on Fox is going out with a bang, with ESPN acquiring the broadcast rights for UFC. The final UFC on Fox show will go down from Milwaukee, Wisconsin on December 15th.
By the way, the MMA Holes told you before anyone else, motherfuckers, we are wonderful.
Wonderful.
It looks like that show will be headlined by a lightweight matchup between Ali Aquinta and Kevin Lee. Lee had a 5-fight win streak snapped on by Tony Ferguson a year ago. El Kukui submitted Lee for the interim lightweight title in the bout. This past April, Lee returned to the octagon and made a statement. He dominated Edson Barboza en route to a 5th-round TKO. Aquinta hasn't fought since April 7th when he was defeated by Khabib Nurmagomedov. Ragin was defeated by the Eagle via unanimous decision for the vacant 155-pound title. This was because Max Holloway was unfit to compete in the bout, and Aquinta stepped in as a last-second replacement. Both men are talented grapplers and have been rumored to fight one another again for quite some time. Aquinta won their initial matchup at Lee's UFC debut in 2014. The fight took place at UFC 169, which Aquinta won via unanimous decision.
All right. Iaquinta wins the first match. Kevin Lee a lot better this time around. But when Iaquinta came on the show, we asked Al. We said, Al, are you going to win? And he said, I hope so.
That's really what he said. He said, I hope so.
He said, I hope so.
He didn't say yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm ready for No, he said, I hope so.
Yeah, every time we ask a fighter that question, they're usually like, of course I'm going to. What kind of dumb question is that? And he's like, well, I hope so. Al, you going to knock him out? I hope so, yeah. I hope. Fucking Raging Al's the best. What do you guys think in the chat inside over there? Will Raging Al win or Kevin Lee in the rematch? A number 5 Lee versus a number 9 Iaquinta. What do you say?
RRA Razin says KO Al Quinta. Van Shipman says go Raging Al. The Dark Project 01 says who won the first fight? Brian Reuter says who else would rather see Lee and Iaquinta fight someone new? Jay Smith says if all pulls out, you'll have to delete that video. Al better make it. Raging Al says second sight. JBH is banging Chris. Thought he had a girl, says Sublime Bud.
Yeah, your mom, I'm sorry. It didn't work out.
Wonderful.
Raging Al is logically honest, says Boss Kogar. Steven Iron says, is Kevin Lee 2 or 3 wins from a title fight? Sean Hart says Al Bundy will hopefully win. I hope. Marlon Ensley says Kevin Lee would beat him. Greg Odom says, Mystic Moss, do you own a pair of Tims?
No. By the way, and it's who asked that, by the way?
Greg Odom Blaze.
Greg Odom. No, Timberlands are therefore. Yeah, no. I have a friend that wears them. I loathe Tims. Do you like? I mean, I know we're getting distracted here for a second. Do you like Timberlands? I don't even know if you know what Timberlands are. This is why. This is the girl of my dreams right here. She doesn't even know what Timberlands are. Timberlands are those yellow boots with the blacks around the ankle, and usually. My buddy wears it, right? And I look at him like, what are you doing?
Oh, the work boots?
They're like work boots. They look like work. But he wears them like going out.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people do that. Like just casually wearing them.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah?
Do your brothers wear Timberlands?
No, well, they're in the military, so they have boots like
They're boots, yeah, but not like the yellow Timberland.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Oh, they're the worst. They are the worst. They are absolutely the worst. I can't handle it. For years, I've been making fun of the guy for wearing them. I'm like, just put sneakers on, or just put like shoes, or put
I just
something
wear
else.
Converse or tennis shoes.
Yeah. What do you wear? Let me know in the chat if you wear those horrific boots. Anyway, go ahead. What else we have in the chat?
Michael J says, I have been saying for over a year that Kevin Lee beats Khabib. Kainoto74 says, I got some Tims and mine aren't those douchebag yellow ones. I got some manly Tims, not those gay shit boots.
Thank you. I was getting worried.
Keyboard Ninja says, Kevin Lee better make weight. Patty Brady says, how did you pull a girl like Jessie? Fuck, shake your hand.
You can shake my hand, my cock, whatever you like to shake, feel free. Shotgun
Matt says, I got a pair of green ones. They're honestly the best shoes I got.
Really, I find them uncomfortable too. I mean, I know we're talking about boots now, but who gives a fuck? It's the MMA holds. Yeah, I find Timberlands like extremely uncomfortable, and then you take them off. See, I'm lucky. I don't have smelly feet. Like I have friends with like stanky ass feet. Like you take off the shoes, it's like clear out the room. And some of them wear Timberlands. It's like those things seem like they're just cesspools for fucking stank. Yeah. I don't know. All right. Anyway, let's move on.
Okay.
What else we got? All right. What else is in the news?
All right. Khabib versus McGregor medical suspensions, UFC 229 injury report.
I'm actually pretty curious about this. Who is suspended?
Here is the complete list of the UFC 229 injuries and medical suspensions. Anthony Pettis must have nasal fracture cleared by doctor or no contest until April 5th of 2019. Dominic
2019,
Reyes.
April 5th.
Yes.
Makes sense. His face is all mutilated.
Dominic Reyes must have a left leg x-rayed. If positive, then receive orthopedic doctor clearance or no contest until April 5th, 2019. Jalen Turner must have nasal fracture cleared by doctor or no contest until April 5th, 2019. Minimum suspension of no contest until 12/06, which is December 6th, and no contact until November 21st. Scott Holtzman must have a right hand and foot x-rayed. If positive, then must receive orthopedic doctor clearance or no contest until April 5th. Minimum suspension of no contest until November 21st. No contact until November 6th due to cut on left forehead. Alan Patrick must have a left orbital blowout fracture cleared by the ENT doctor or ophthalmologist, or no contest until April 5th.
What a sport.
Minimum suspension of no contest until December 6th, and no contact until November 21st.
It's such a great sport. Like the medical suspensions. Like I love it. I really love it.
OSP suspended until December 6th, no contact until November 21st.
Does that mean sex? Does that include sex?
Yeah, I guess. Right. Alexander Volkov suspended until December 6th, no contact until November 21st. Tanya Evinger suspended until November 21st, no contact until November 6th.
She can't use her dick until November 6th. Is that the deal?
And Gray Maynard suspended until November 21st, no contact until November 6th due to cut on left eyebrow. Ryan LaFleur suspended until November 21st, no contact until November 6th due to cut on left forehead.
Real quick, Pole says Moss is the type of guy that drinks pumpkin spice lattes, so he just revealed he wears Timberlands. I'm having a feeling that he's a Timberland guy. What do you think? I mean, hip-hop videos, you see Timberlands and stuff like that. You do see that. So what do you think Pulse Reloaded? Texas.
I don't know. Right? I don't know.
I think he's a Tim's guy.
Yeah?
Yeah. Pulse, please. You know what? Don't let us know. I don't want to think any less of you. All right, good. What else do we have? It's suspensions.
Okay. Conor McGregor suspended until November 6th, no contact until October 28th. Derrick Lewis suspended until November 6th, no contact until October 28th due to a tough fight. Vicente Luque suspended until November 6th, no contact until October 28th.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right.
Just a quick reminder, fighters often return to action much quicker once doctors give them the green light. The lengthy suspensions are just a precaution in most cases. In addition, not all injuries are recorded during the post-fight examination and oftentimes surface in follow-up tests.
So there's your 229 suspensions over there. If you're just jumping in, it is true. It is correct. Derrick Lewis versus Daniel Cormier is a go. The main event for UFC 230, Nate Diaz has been taken off the card. We're going to be opening up phone lines in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. But the question is, what is next for Nate? I'm saying Conor all the way. The next question is it before the year is up, or is it after the year is up? Yeah. What's up in this chat? Whoa, chat. WMMAC, make it a rain.
Sigara Eubanks versus Roxanne Odaferry booked for UFC 230.
What?
There you go.
If you ain't a fan of Roxanne, you just suck.
I like Roxy.
Girl just posted to the MMA Holds site.
All right.
Here, fun fact, WMMA scene. Good point bringing that up, because Sajara Eubanks actually made tweets out to Dana White not too long, just a couple days ago, actually a day ago, about how he was ruining her life because she had no idea whether she would be on the undercard, if she was going to be on the card at all. Because they had moved Valentina Shevchenko. So good point.
Chat.
Dope sick coming in.
My balls are hot.
My balls are hot. Derek, why'd you take off those shorties? Look at that. Dope sick Jones with the 20.
My balls are hot too, Dope sick.
You know what? Dope sick, a friend of Felony, Charles Bennett. You're wonderful, wonderful. Let's dance. Let's dance for Dope sick over here. Dope sick dropping the 20. You ready? Grab Felony. Let's go. The $20 spot from Dope Sick Jones. You just drop Felony on the floor. Here we go. The Felony dance. Every time Dope Sick donates, we do the Felony dance over here. Shout out to Dope Sick Jones. You are wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Dope Sick. All right. Yeah, go check out Charles Bennett. We have him as a featured channel, the wonderful, wonderful channels in our community section over there. So check it out. And come on, Charles is a beast, man. He's got his own thing going, and he is wonderful, wonderful. 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes.
20 likes. 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. 20 likes. 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. I hope the dislikes die of leprosy.
All right. Thank you so much. And someone in the chat, Trisket says Roxanne sucks balls, so does Eubanks. You know what? I hate to agree with Trisket, my son, but I am not impressed with Roxy either. She's a likable character. Very likable, but man.
Super chat.
Van Shipman.
Just in. Van Shipman versus Mudflaps UFC 230 co-main.
Hey, look at that. Breaking news.
Calm down now, Van Shipman. When are we going to see Mudflaps back on a card?
Yeah, I was going to say that. Mackenzie Dern is Mudflaps, by the way, for the new people in there. And I haven't heard a goddamn thing about Mackenzie Dern. You would think she'd be dragged onto one of these cards, right? It's been a minute since we've seen her on there. And if you're wondering what we're drinking, Proper 12. And she's got Proper 12 and TygerLyfe.
Yeah.
If you want to get yourself some TygerLyfe, link in the description. Jess, what else do we have in the news? TGIW, motherfuckers.
UFC President Dana White reveals the record. McGregor versus Khabib smashed.
Smash.
Yes.
It's smash.
Conor McGregor's defeat against Khabib Nurmagomedov smashed the pay-per-view record by 500,000 buys, Dana White has revealed. McGregor now holds 4 out of the top 5 records and also holds the 2 highest gate figures. His bout with Nurmagomedov ended in the 4th round as McGregor tapped out after being caught in a neck crank. Immediately after the fight was declared over, Khabib jumped over the fence to get at McGregor's teammate Dylan Dennis, which we've all seen. Nurmagomedov's teammates then jumped into the cage and attacked McGregor, leaving the UFC president, White, fuming. White refused to give Nurmagomedov his belt inside the cage, but explained that his mood changed once he heard the pay-per-view figures. In an interview with TMZ Sports, he explained that the fight did better than he expected it to. The pay-per-view numbers are starting to roll in, so I'm in a much better mood than I was on Saturday, says Dana White. We didn't do 3 million, but it's so hard to crack 2 million.
I'm sorry. There's just hold that thought. I apologize, Jesse. There's a couple of things in here. First off, someone was saying show the bottle of Proper 12. Yeah, if you don't
Proper 12.
If you don't believe it, we have it right here, Proper 12.
We actually have 2 bottles. There's one over here too.
Yeah, we're approaching the ending of this bottle. Proper 12 is wonderful, wonderful. And
Wonderful.
I shit you not, I will run out and buy another bottle. It's
good. I like it.
For whiskey, and a cheap whiskey, it's fucking smooth. No sponsor over there for Proper 12, but it is fucking good. The reason why I stopped the Jesse with the news real quick is Kainoto 74 says Dern is out. She's going to be out for 12 months recovering from a horse hysterectomy.
Wonderful.
Try topping that comment right over there.
Nice job, Kainoto.
A horse hysterectomy. All right. Anyway, go ahead.
Right.
Yeah, this is the only show that will actually stop the whole goddamn show to read that. Let's see Mark Raimondi in the A side do that shit. Let's see any of these motherfucking cunts of anyway.
All right. Dana White also says even Mike Tyson and Holyfield was at like 1.995 million. Things like that didn't crack 2 million. We're way over 2 million, so I'm happy. In the build-up to the fight, White predicted that the pay-per-view numbers would be doubled that of McGregor's boxing match with Floyd Mayweather.
Michael Anzalone, we got our Jesse's headphones at $5 Below right over there. The budgets are through the roof. $5 Below for $5, and the headphones in the background.
I don't need fancy $200 headphones.
That's my kind of girl.
These are perfect.
Yeah, look at that. $5 headphones.
My fancy $5 headphones.
Shout out to Michael Anzalone, and shout out to the fucking patrons. We haven't shouted you motherfuckers out in a while, so I'm going to give you a proper shout out. Oh, whoops. What is this? What is this, Jesse? What's this?
You're just so proud of yourself.
Yeah, you gotta love the MMA holes. What up, 170 peeps watching? Thank you for joining us. And if you check it out, we're gonna give a proper shout out over here in our description. We have some peeps. These are the $5 and $10 patrons over here, so we got to give you your proper shout outs. Here we go. Scroll down over here. Jesse, who's some patrons?
Marky Wahoo, Almond Bro 74, Sean McKenzie, BLT, Kenshiro Ryu, Michael Anzalone, Mystic Mitch, and Vladimir.
All part of our private Discord. Thank you so much for becoming a patron and supporting the show. I do appreciate it. You're wonderful, wonderful. Also, honorable mentions is Ann H and some others that have lower tier donations. Listen, patron, you can even do as low as $2 a month, and you can be part of our private Discord, our little inside community over there. So thank you so much, and I haven't given you a proper shout out. We do appreciate your support. All right, Jesse, what do we got back in the news on the MMAholes.com?
Bellator heavyweight tournament semifinalists not down with UFC 229 post-fight melee.
Yeah, this weekend. How about that? Bellator has 2 monstrosities, Friday and Saturday, back-to-back, belly-to-belly. We have the heavyweight Grand Prix winding down, and now they're not happy about this UFC 229 melee. What is this about, Jesse?
Bellator heavyweight Matt Mitrione isn't just facing Ryan Bader for the right to advance in the promotion's heavyweight Grand Prix. He fights to make sure he's not the loser buying beer. Mitrione, who turned 40 in July, is a father of 3 and more concerned about that dad life once his work is done at Bellator 207, which takes place Friday at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut. Whatever his opponent has or hasn't said about him in the build-up to a fight, you won't see Mitrione starting anything after the final bell. He said, quote, "Once the fight's over, the fight's over. I don't really care enough about someone I just beat." The melee started by UFC lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov at UFC 229 after his win over Conor McGregor has provided much fodder for this week's water cooler chats. But in the MMA industry, it's also sparked a conversation about what is and isn't out of bounds before the gloves go on. Nurmagomedov may have started the incident by launching himself into the crowd post-fight, but many have accused the UFC of setting the stage for the brawl that spoiled the ending of the blockbuster event. For the fighters competing in Bellator's 8-man tournament, 3/4 of them with UFC pasts, responsibility starts with the individual.
Listen, this stuff over here. Now, I mean, it doesn't really matter about the melee. It's over and done with. It looks like there's gonna be minimum suspensions. Thankfully, Khabib's not gonna lose his belt. We move on, and Khabib is still the champ of 155. A lot of things to talk about with matchups down the road, but this is going on this weekend. And is it on DAZN or DAZN or whatever the hell it's called?
I believe so. Yes, I think they're officially moving over. Don't take my word on that. I'll double check for you. But I believe they are officially trying to move over to DAZN.
Yeah, it is funny though, like how UFC 229 was a whirlwind. Now we move on, and we have a weekend with 2 in a row. We're gonna be doing fight reactions to both of these events, and we will take you through it. The heavyweight Grand Prix, something interesting. I want to see Knucklehead Chael run through this thing over here, but he's got a tough task fighting Fedor, and then Mitrione versus Bellator is a very interesting fight over there. Another thing to take note is on these cards on Saturday night, Triton Fights has some studs on there. Actually, friend of the show, right? Friend of the show is coming on Ryan Castro. Sorry, Castro. Castro the Entertainer on Instagram. Ryan Castro will be fighting on Saturday night. We have Pat Casey is fighting on Friday night, and some other peeps over there from Triton Fights and local organizations. So congratulations in advance to you folks. And get the job done over there at Bellator this weekend, 207, 205. Looking forward to that one. All right, if you are on the East Coast, we're thinking about, and this is not set in stone yet, but Saturday night, Triton Fights is having something at the Space in Westbury, New York. So if you are on the East Coast, you want to meet up, we'll keep you posted. If we're going to go to the after party after Bellator 208, we'll hang out over there with the boys and see you. Maybe have some Proper 12 and some TygerLyfe.
Proper 12.
But we'll keep you posted on that. There definitely is an after party on Saturday night. All right, what else do we have in the news? Stay tuned because we are going to be opening up the phone lines, and I'm dying to know what you guys and gals think about UFC 230. We still haven't had your thoughts on UFC 229 phone line wise, so that's a reason to hang out with the boys.
Hanging with the boys.
What else we got, JBH?
UFC lines up a rematch between Jon Jones and Alexander Gustafsson.
And finally, it's official.
According to ESPN, a rematch of arguably the best fight in UFC history is set. The promotion has officially booked Jon Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson for UFC 232 on December 29th in Las Vegas. Multiple sources close to the organization told ESPN. The fight is slated to be for the UFC light heavyweight title. Current light heavyweight champ Daniel Cormier, who is also the heavyweight champ, is expected to be stripped of the title once the fight happens, sources say. Also scheduled for the event, which will take place at the T-Mobile Arena, is CRIS CYBORG against Amanda Nunes for women's featherweight title.
Good fucking card.
Jones and Gustafsson competed in one of the most exciting bouts ever at UFC 165, in September of 2013. The bloody back-and-forth battle ended in a close unanimous decision win for Jones, allowing him to retain the light heavyweight belt. Jones has had an up-and-down career ever since the fight before facing Cormier at UFC 182 in January 2015, testing positive for the metabolite of cocaine. In April 2015, he ran a red light and crashed his car into 2 vehicles, injuring a pregnant woman and fled the scene. He later turned himself in Albuquerque, New Mexico police. Ahead of UFC 200, a rematch with Cormier, Jones tested positive for 2 banned substances stemming from a contaminated erectile dysfunction drug, and the fight was canceled.
By the way, Jesse, do I live under a rock?
What's that?
When did this happen? RDA versus Kamaru Usman.
I've not heard of that.
What the? I was looking for UFC 232, and then I'm looking over here, November 30th, RDA versus Usman.
Huh.
Am I fucking living under a rock? Well, there's your. All right, okay. Go ahead, keep going with the story. Apology. Sidetracked.
All right. Jones is considered one of the best, if not the best, fighters of all time. He has not lost since 2009, the only blemish on his professional record. Gustafsson has won 2 in a row, most recently against Glover Teixeira in May 2017. He knocked his opponent out in the 5th round.
They're not letting me go to UFC 232. This is a sad moment for me.
Yeah, it's probably, it'll be, give it a couple weeks.
Anyway, I really want to see that card. Cyborg is on the card as well. It looks like they're ending the year with a bang with Gus versus Jones. Numero 2. I am looking forward to that. Loved the first matchup, and I'm going to like this second one. I know it. How could it be bad, right? Jon Jones off of the layoff. Gustafsson is hungry. This has got, like that reporter, how hungry are you? How hungry do you think Jon Jones is? I mean, how Gustafsson is for finally
not as hungry as Gustafsson.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Hungry reporter. UFC 229. All right, so what do you think in the chat? Let's just ask the chat room right now. Who wins the rematch? Gus or JJ?
Alexander Gustafsson.
What? What?
What?
Now, are you going with your gut?
Gut. Not because of my biased opinion of Jones. I am not. I am a different pick. I don't make the only person I've ever made a biased opinion about was Darren Till, and I learned my lesson from that. I've never made a biased opinion until Darren Till, and when he lost, I was like, this is why I don't make biased opinions. So this is not a biased opinion. It's not because I'm not a big fan of Jones. I personally think Alexander Gustafsson is going to take this fight.
Because of cage rust?
Well, Jones has cage rust.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, because of Jones's cage rust?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm just trying to figure it out.
I think maybe it will be because of Jones's cage rust, but I think Gustafsson knows now. He knows what to look out for. He knows what to pay attention to and how to defend himself against it. And he's this guy. I feel like he's underestimated sometimes, Gustafsson. And I think with Jones, maybe it could be because of the cage rust, but it could also be now he's going in with a completely different head on his shoulders, you know. He doesn't have all of this other stuff, so maybe he'll be more focused, or maybe it'll just fuck him up.
From your lips to sweet baby Jesus' ears, that would be something else if Gustafsson can get the win over here. But man, if you gun to my head, Mystic, what do you pick? I gotta pick Bones in this one.
Of course.
God, I hope Gus wins, but man, Jon Jones is still Jon Jones.
Off
we'll
of
see.
Steroids.
What's the chat say?
Daniel R says USADA. Brian Blaze says Gus might win this time around. Joey Faggoter says, but I often have it wrong. Jay Smooth says Gus hasn't fought in 2 years as well. Kevin from Chicago says Gustafsson. TJ Miss says
his last fight was DC, and it probably was over a year. You know, let's go over there. But yeah, go ahead, keep reading the chat.
Smurf Rollins says Khabib should be released from his title. What? Why? Van Shipman says Bones.
Who should?
I don't think so.
No, who?
Khabib
should be released from his title. Come on, listen. As much as I horse around about that whole situation, I mean, you can't take the title away. You can't do it.
Billy Goat says Jones is still doing coke. RRA Razin says steroids, smiling with a V. Abdel I'm trying to pronounce it. Last fight was Glover. Jay Smooth says it's been a long time since Gus fought. John Savage says Rumble in DC stole Gus's soul. Jones will win again.
I forgot the Glover fight in what, the 5th round? Yes, the 5th round, the TKO. If I'm not mistaken, it was like some spinning shit. This is the one where Gus kept on running and resetting, and that was in May 28th of 2017. So it's been a little while, you know. It's a little minute.
Dope Sick Jones says, I know this isn't MMA holds math, but look at what Cormier did to Gustafsson, then look at what Jones did to Cormier. So here is the difference, Dope Sick. Now, I know people have this same argument, that exact same argument, and it makes sense, and rightfully so. But regardless of what Jones was busted for, regardless of what he was busted for, he was still busted for a fight with Cormier. I think with Gustafsson, it's going to be different. Cormier has Jones and Cormier are always going to have some sort of animosity towards each other.
Well, but let's talk about what he said, though.
Yeah, but this is what I'm talking about. I don't think Gustafsson has as much of an animosity towards Jones as Cormier did. So I don't think Jones has that ability to defeat.
I think what it comes down to is this. When it comes to Alexander Gustafsson and he fights those shorter, compact fighters like a DC, a Rumble Johnson, it's clearly a problem for Gus.
Right.
It's clearly a problem for him. These powerful, compact guys. Jon Jones, long, lanky, very similar to Gustafsson. Gustafsson not only is taller than the guy, but he does have a similar style, you know? So I think the matchup just works better. I really do. Jones, Gustafsson versus DC, they went the distance, and it was a war. It was a goddamn war. But DC gets the win in that one. I think it's more of a problem for him to fight fighters like that. I think Jon Jones is a better matchup for Gustafsson. But
I do think that now, on that same note, I'm not discrediting that because I guarantee that argument's going to come up a million times from a million people. The fact that DC beat Gustafsson and Jones beat DC. So now Jones can beat Gustafsson. That idea is going to be floating around all the way up until the fight, guaranteed.
Well, some people can argue that Gus beat Jones. You know, I mean, it went to a decision, and Jones got the decision. But there are people that were literally up in arms. I think Jones did win that fight, but it was damn close. It was damn close. You know, I do have to give it to the champ. You know, a close fight's always got to go to the champ in my mind. But some people make the argument that Gus beat him already.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a fascinating fight, especially with the layoff, especially with the drugs. Who knows? What if now Jon Jones is completely clean? I don't think the drugs, all that stuff, I don't think it really had much to play a part of Jon Jones's rise. I don't see it, but he still is guilty. So it's fascinating to see what kind of bones is going to come back.
I'm curious. As much as I'm not excited, I am excited. I take that back. I am excited, but as much as I'm not thrilled to see how he came back, I am excited to see exactly how he'll come back.
I see in the chat it's a little split the first time around, Gus or Jones in the first fight. All right, let me ask you a question. Let me know in the chat, who do you think, and be honest, don't be a dick, who do you really think won the fight, Gus or Jones the first time around? I am pretty sure that majority of people have seen that fight, unless you live under a rock. Let's see what the chat says over here. JBH.
Smoke Something says, yeah, yee. Thiago Silva says, are you X-Stitch?
Yes.
X-Stitch. Wheezing 326 says Jones won. Gus Jones, Gus, Van Shipman, Alexander, Jones dick. Khabib wins every fight. Draw. I think Gus won. More damage. Draw. Jones is almost as roided up as Chris Cyborg. Almost. Scorecards had Jones. Draw. Brian Ortega will beat Khabib after he beats Max. Gus 48-47. Gus. Bones. Jones. Chris, were you ever hit by a car? Jones by a cunt hair. Derrick Lewis will beat DC by burning his head with his balls in north-south 500,000 degrees Celsius. Jesse, I'm gonna clean your butt with my dick. What would have happened if they went to the 6th round? Sean Hart. Hi, I am doing good.
Well, here's
hanging
the thing.
with the boys.
If it would have went to the 6th round,
Hanging with the boys.
I think Gus was in trouble. At the end of that fight, I tell you what, man, Jon Jones started turning it up, started carving on Gus. And yeah, that would have been trouble if there was an actual 6th round. But yeah, I'm with the majority over here. I had Jones winning the first one. You know, I was rooting for Gus in that fight, but Jon Jones, I feel, got it. Yeah. All right, so here we go. Derrick Lewis is fighting Daniel Cormier. We're gonna be taking phone lines in the second half of the show. We're almost an hour in. Nate Diaz, motherfuckers, is off of UFC 230. So the card, as it stands, well, it's got some bright spots, but it's a tough pill to swallow because Nate Diaz versus Poirier was the fight everyone was wanting.
Right.
And then when Poirier got pulled off, we spoke about it last night. We were like, well, you know, you throw another fight on there. I mean, we just want Nate. Right. We want to see Nate back. And now they've taken that from us. What if Daniel Cormier can't? Well, he can't make weight. It's heavyweight. What if, I don't know, Derrick Lewis gets hurt?
You
or
know
something?
what? I think Daniel Cormier does better at heavyweight.
Well, he's undefeated at heavyweight.
No, but he even said when he was doing light heavyweight, he's good at light heavyweight. But what he was saying was he noticed when he transitioned from light heavyweight to heavyweight for his last fight that people would think that it would be more difficult because now he's retaining more weight and his natural weight is at heavyweight. But it's actually better for him. He just comes back like a fucking monster at heavyweight.
Here we go. Evil Duck coming in with a comment. Jesse, what is he saying?
Evil Duck 616 says the logic of that fighter beat the other fighter is stupid. Styles make fights and Jones struggles against big long fighters rather than fighting all midgets he usually does.
Yeah, you know, MMA math, right? We've heard it and credit to, I think it was Dope Sick, right?
He said MMA math.
Yeah, I mean it is MMA math and you really can't follow that, but there are certain situations that sometimes it's the only thing you got, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you gotta be like, well, this person beat that person beat this person. Why did that happen? Right. And then if you can figure out, okay, well, this happened because of this and that happened because of that, does it add up? You know, like if it's just this person beat that person beat this person, well, logically it should be like this. No, you have to dig a little bit deeper. So you can use MMA math, but let's be serious here. When it comes to picks, you're literally fucking rolling dice. You know, that's what you're doing. Yeah. There is no guaranteed, there is no lock, and that's why we watch the sport. So, you know, I'm mystical, so I get the majority of them right. But
and I agree. And I think if you used MMA math to predict fights, and if that was logical and MMA math worked every time, I don't think as many people would be watching the sport because they would just know who wins. It wouldn't be as exciting. I mean, for me personally, it wouldn't be as exciting to watch if I knew that the MMA math logic was you know, relevant, was that it actually something that worked. I wouldn't watch it. Because it wouldn't be as exciting.
If you knew the outcome beforehand, you would bet on it. You know, you bet. By the way, I saw a video today. It was really weird. I got to show you this. I'll show you after the stream. But it was about like proof that there's time machines, and they're showing like during the Tyson fight, there was a guy with a cell phone during, I forgot, was it Tyson Holyfield or I can't remember. No, Tyson McNeely. There was a guy in the crowd. Let me know in the chat if you've ever seen this. Tyson McNeely, and there was hold on, let's see if I can pull this up. I like getting sidetracked. Jesse, just read the chat and I'll pull this up.
Thiago Silva says MMA whole game is much strong. Michael Chapman says MMA meth has Jon Jones written all over it. Jay Smooth says Giants versus Eagles tomorrow night. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be watching.
Evaristo Trevino says, yo, what's up, Evaristo? Up in this shit. Hones Jones will win, but it's gonna hurt for sure. Gustafsson deserves a rematch. If you saw the first fight, you know how exciting this rematch will be. Of course. Smoke Something says, saw our video. Kevin Costa says, throwing bones to faces.
All right, here we go. Now, I don't know how many people saw. I must not. It's ridiculous. I don't know how I didn't see this. Now, it's kind of small here, unfortunately. I wish I could zoom in a little bit. But this is like no joke. That shit looks like a goddamn iPhone or something. Jesse, what do you think when you see this?
What do you mean?
This was McNeely versus Mike Tyson
Right.
before there were cell phones, right? Before there were smartphones, I should say. Not cell phones, but smartphones, okay? What does this look like to you?
Like a smartphone.
How the fuck did this person
Is
get
that
a smartphone?
an Asian person behind him?
Jesse, smartphones don't exist. Oh, that shit had a flash on it too. How they don't exist?
If it's an Asian person, they created it first.
Jesse, think about it. Give me an answer for this. I need you to figure this out. You're very smart.
I will give you an answer right now. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All technology that we have access to at this moment has been created 10 years prior, but has not been released until now. Did you know
So you're
that?
saying, okay, yeah, I did know that, but so you're saying that it got released.
That is an Asian who created a smartphone before
Well, first
it was
of all, he's a
released.
white guy. So, okay.
How do you know it's a white guy?
I
It looks
see
like
him.
an
I'm
Asian
looking
to
right
me.
at him. That's a white dude with a little bit of a receding hairline over there.
That Asian man is from the future.
So does he have a time machine, Jesse?
Yes.
I tell you what, I was staring at this all day. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure this has been going on around the internet for years, and I don't know how the fuck I only saw it now. But what the fuck? What is that? What is this?
Teleportation.
The guy's got a goddamn time machine. Oh my god. Chat room, what do you say about that? I'm blown away. I'm so blown away. Holy shit. Now, if you're listening to this on Podbean or on iTunes, we just we just shown Mike Tyson, right? And he's getting ready. Looks like he's getting ready for the fight. Someone in the crowd has a device that looks to be a cell phone, and it's way before
It's a white dude
smartphones.
squinting, fucking racist capsule corp time machine.
All right, Jesse, what are they saying in that chat?
Dope Sick Jones says that's a styrofoam cup. He's sipping lean. Sean Hart says it's me, just done it to get on MMA holes. Dude Chronic says if he's a ringside, he has money and it's a video camera. Evaristo Trevino says CGI.
Do you think Sean Hart got a time machine? He's like, I really want to get on the MMA holes, and let's just do this. And he went back in time. He pulled out his cell phone, and now here he is. There's Sean Hart over there. What do you think, Jesse? You think that's the truth?
Sure.
All right. Go ahead. What else in the chat?
Lucio JMS says, I'm high. That got my assignment tripping, laughing my ass off. Howdy. Kevin Costa says, JBH kills me. Is that an Asian? Gay Agent says, Chris is not ugly. And H says, Scotty beamed him down from the Enterprise. Evil Duck 616 says, burn him at the stake. He's a witch. Phones were bricks back then, and pagers were the fad.
Jesse, this is going to be a donation. It's like the time machine donation. I am totally making that. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not even kidding. After the show, I'm probably going to make the time machine donation. Right
Save this GIF.
All right. All right. What else do we have in the news? We will be taking some phone calls. The MMAholes.com is where we gather all the news across the interwebs, and that's where you can find it. What is next, JBH?
Derrick Lewis appreciates the UFC title shot, but feels Stipe Miocic deserved it more, according to My MMA News.
I was trying to look for, I don't know if I was looking on Instagram. Stipe's wife actually put it out there, and man, what is going on? All right, read the story and we'll talk about it.
Yesterday, October 9th, it was revealed that heavyweight champ Daniel Cormier will defend his gold against Lewis in the main event of UFC 230. The card takes place inside Madison Square Garden in New York City. The news came as a surprise to many, as Lewis is medically suspended until November 6th, which is 3 days prior to UFC 230, and Cormier is dealing with a hand injury. Despite these issues, it's apparent that these are small hurdles that can easily be cleared. Derrick Lewis feels for Stipe Miocic. Lewis Lewis recently spoke to TMZ Sports about the last-minute title opportunity. He said that Miocic deserves a title rematch.
By the way,
said,
real quick,
quote,
hold that story. Kainoa says, yes, Jesse, you pronounced GIF or GIF right.
It's GIF.
Yeah, I say GIF too, but here's the thing. I run a photo booth as well, right? And there is no proper way to say it. I've actually looked it up. Yeah, I say GIF, but I
used to say GIF, remember? I told you it was GIF.
I said GIF because I had someone correct me from saying GIF.
It's
and
GIF.
I started saying GIF. But here's the thing. I found out that there's no proper way to say it. It's like Dazin or Dazin or whatever the fuck that is. It's just like, it's pretty much however you want to say it. It's bizarre.
No, it's GIF.
Well, that's what I think. But
when it was first invented, it was a GIF.
All right.
All right. Derrick Lewis said, quote, I don't know why they don't give it to Stipe. It'd been great for them to give it to Stipe than to me, but I appreciate them giving me the shot. I really believe that Stipe deserves the shot, seeing as how he was the champion for a while. He defended that many times, and I guess dominant for a while. I don't know why they gave it to me before they gave it to Stipe. Everyone else, whenever they lost their belt, they got a title or they got a shot to win it back. I don't know why they didn't give it to Stipe unless they wanted some time off. Lewis made one of the best comebacks in history of the sport this past Saturday night, October 6th. Needing a finish in the worst way, Lewis knocked out Alexander Volkov, as we all saw, with just 11 seconds left in the fight. Volkov was cruising to a clean sweep before eating the right hand from hell and having his lights shut off on the ground.
This is as per MMA News. You can get the link to their website on themmaholes.com. So Stipe Miocic, did he get the shaft or not? I don't know. It's really bizarre because Daniel Cormier turned him down and says he had a hurt hand, and then miraculously is going to fight Derrick Lewis with a fine hand. Mm-hmm. And Stipe Miocic says, well, he said he was going to fight him on a short camp. I feel like you like to say there's something missing in the story. This is a situation where I feel there is a big hole 100%. In the story.
You know what? Stipe, he even posted a tweet on Twitter. Daniel Cormier posted to Stipe in a response saying, after Lesnar, if Lesnar falls through, then you're next. He's saying that to Stipe and telling Stipe to kind of calm down. You know, it's not a big deal. But Stipe said, I offered to fight you. He said, I've been staying up all night, every night with my 3-month-old, and I still offered to fight you with 0 camp. Where's my fight? No response.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I don't know. All right, let's see. Hold on a second. Evil Duck chiming in and saying, play something over here. I don't know. On Derrick Lewis's IG. Is this it? Let's see.
You broke my record, huh? On UFC today?
Really was in 985.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You were at 968. One more than me.
985. Don't let it fool you.
I saw it.
Don't let it fool you.
I saw it. I saw the thing on TV.
Hey, you beat Stipe.
They have the clip to show
You
it.
beat Stipe, and I beat Francis.
Me and you?
You beat Stipe, and I beat Francis.
He had that belt.
Me and you?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Well, you don't punch that hard. So I mean, you
I
punch
saw
like
you.
me.
No,
Oh.
You know,
It looks like they're flirting with each other, right? Doesn't it like Derrick Lewis is like...
No, you know what it is? You know what it is?
He's like, stop it. Stop.
No,
Daniel, stop.
you know what? I can tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Derrick Lewis is that kind of guy who likes to come across as like, oh, big bad, I'm going to shove you during the face-off, right? And Daniel Cormier is such a respectable fighter. I mean, aside from Jon Jones thing, but he's such a respectable fighter that even Derrick Lewis, the one who wants to be all in your face and badass, can't even be that way with Daniel Cormier.
No, here's the thing.
Guaranteed.
No, Derrick Lewis in person, which, I mean, I've seen multiple. Unfortunately, I never had a chance to meet Derrick Lewis. I'm dying to meet the guy. He's fantastic. He's like a big, giant teddy bear, this guy. He's like a big teddy bear. He is.
No, I've never.
Get him outside of the cage. Any interview you see of Derrick Lewis, he's soft-spoken. He's giggling. Like, this dude, he's got a little sarcasm in there, but he's like a big teddy bear. He's always smiling.
No, I think my theory might be.
What is your theory?
That Daniel Cormier is such a respectable fighter that even Derrick Lewis can't be all in your face badass.
Well, yeah, he's respecting Daniel Cormier.
Yeah,
but I mean,
well, that's what I said.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
I want anybody for money.
you want.
It looks like they're flirting with each other, right? Let's play it one more time.
All right, no, we can do an impersonation. Ready?
Hold on a second. Let's play it one more time. Huh?
All right, go ahead.
Oh, we'll play it one more time. Check this out. Now, if you're listening on Podbean and iTunes, well, just check us out on YouTube. Over here, you can see the actual video. Follow Derrick Lewis, who got over 1 million followers over here, 1.2 million followers. And his Instagram is fucking off the chain. It really is funny. If you don't like the guy, just follow him for his posts. Some of his posts are so goddamn funny. It's like Tosh.0. So it is The Beast UFC. Here we go. He posted this today.
You broke my record, huh? On UFC today?
Really hit 985.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You went 968. One more than me.
985. Don't let it fool you.
I saw it.
Don't let it fool you.
I saw it. I saw the thing on TV.
Hey, you beat Stipe.
They have the clip to show
Beat
it.
Stipe, and I beat Francis.
Me and
You
you?
had that belt.
Me and you?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Well, you don't punch that hard. So I mean, you said you
I'll
punch
show
like
you.
me.
No, I'll show you.
But you don't want to. Really.
Hold on. Let's play this. All right, hold on a
Training
second.
bar for money.
Hold on. This is what we're going to do, Jesse.
Yeah.
I think we need to play this with some sexy music.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. There's only one way to play this clip over here because there's a lot of heavy flirting between these two fighters that are going to be throwing down at UFC 230. Here we go.
You broke my record, huh? On UFC today?
Really hit 985.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You went 968. One more than me.
Oh, yeah.
985. Don't let it fool you.
I saw it.
Don't let it fool you.
I saw it.
Oh, my
I
God.
saw the thing on
Hey,
TV.
you beat Stipe.
Oh,
They
yes.
have the clip to show it.
Oh.
And I beat Francis.
Me and
You
you?
had that belt.
Me and you?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Well, you don't punch that hard. So I mean, you said you
I'll
punch
show
like
you.
me.
No, I'll show you.
But you don't want to punch me. Really.
Oh, yes.
Come on, training bar for money.
You
All right, anyway, let's
You're gonna
stop.
wrap one on one shoulder.
Thank you.
You're gonna wrap the other on the other shoulder.
Vlad coming in.
You're gonna need a fucking army to come take them belts off me.
That's not a smartphone. It's a camera. It's made by a Japanese company that resold it to Casio and Logitech. Look at the Casio QV10A, the Casio QV100, and a Logitech Photoman.
All right.
Look into it.
Vlad
Okay.
doing his investigation over
Vlad, do me a
here.
favor. Post it on the MMAholes.com. Thank you for the donation. If you could post a picture of that on the MMAholes.com, we'll do an investigation. I did see someone post what the camera is, and it didn't look the same to me, but we'll find out. We'll get to the bottom of this. If you're just jumping in, Mike Tyson, well, he fought Peter McNeely, and someone in the crowd had a time machine and brought an iPhone to the thing. So, all right, Jesse. What else we got in the news? Because we got to take some phone calls.
Nate Diaz says, quote, I'll just fight Khabib when he's ready, according to MMA News. Nate Diaz is off of UFC 230 from Madison Square Garden. Diaz was initially expected to make his highly anticipated Octagon return against Dustin Poirier. The fight was even being pushed by fans to be elevated to the main event. However, after several changes, the UFC was able to land a heavyweight title headliner. News broke yesterday that Poirier was forced to withdraw from the contest due to injury. For a few hours, fans wondered if Diaz would accept a late notice replacement to stay on the card. Sadly, Diaz was subsequently removed from the card as well. Mixed martial arts fans are going to have to wait a bit longer for Diaz's return. ESPN's Ariel Helwani reached out to Diaz for comment after the entire ordeal. It sounds like the Stockton native is interested in fighting UFC lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov next.
He's the best.
He put Ariel Helwani posted a tweet on Twitter saying, "Ask Nate Diaz 209 what's next now that Dustin Poirier is out of UFC 230. His response: I'll just fight Khabib when he's ready."
We're like, I'll just fight Khabib when he's ready.
A fight between Diaz and Khabib would be a massive event. Khabib is fresh off of a big win from Conor McGregor at UFC 229. The Russian successfully defended his 155-pound title against the Irishman. However, he's currently awaiting possible punishments for his post-fight actions. The stylistic matchup between Khabib and Diaz is certainly an interesting one. While Khabib is a dominant presence on the ground, Diaz has the jiu-jitsu to keep the eagle on his toes. Perhaps Dana White and company will consider this match moving forward.
Yeah, I got to say this. You got to, whether you like Nate or not, it is just funny what he asked for. His demands are hilarious, right? You can't knock his demands. They're hysterical. All right, I can't fight Poirier. Oh, give me a title shot, right?
Right.
Against an undefeated Khabib Nurmagomedov. Why not? Right? What do you got to lose? And you got to think about it. The question is, what do you have to lose? Like, he's not getting that fight, but by throwing it out there, Dana White might be like, fuck it, let's do it. You know, like, you got nothing to lose. So just say something ridiculous and just throw it out there and see what happens.
Yeah.
So Nate Diaz teaching everyone a lesson. I see there is 174 people watching right now. Welcome to the MMA Holes. We have 15,000 subscribers, so thank you To the new peeps, thank you to the old peeps for joining us. This is our Wednesday show. We do 3 shows a week, and it is wonderful, wonderful. Let me know in the chat if you're a new G or an OG. If you're new to the show, put new G. If you're old to the show, put OG. Let me know right now. I want to see where the new peeps at and where the old people are at in the chat room. We're going to be opening up the phone lines in about 15 minutes. So if you have something to say, hold on, and we will take your calls. Jess?
Yes.
Chat.
Evil Duck 616 says Khabib should fight a fully grown male polar bear with claws and teeth in the octagon. Ben Frank OG says Conor Khabib rematch will happen now, sadly. Here we go. New G, OG, gay G, new G, too old G, OG, sexy G, OG, old head, teabag, OG, G, dick, dumb G, gay G, OG for 3 months, OG, Nate smokes weed and has crazy thoughts. Well, few months G. Khabib G, triple G, retirement home G. Do you think Ferguson is still a bad matchup for Khabib? I'm older than old school. Me Bullocks was simply sweltering, says OG in Midnight Toker here since 2,500 subs.
Yo, we got a super chat. Lucio.
Is it bad to eat stale hot Cheetos? Lol, hi ASF. But DC wins by using his wrestling since his hand isn't 100.
It is not bad to eat stale hot Cheetos, but he might have a stomachache or two.
Thank you, Lucio. Yeah, stale hot Cheetos, I think you're fine. Daniel
it'll
Cormier.
just taste kind of gross.
Yeah. Yeah. But Daniel Cormier with Derrick Lewis, you got to think, like right off the bat, Daniel is short in stature, but on the ground, same size, gets on top of Derrick Lewis. Derrick Lewis is gasping for air, trying to get back up, and DC on top is a tough one. The Black Beast has bucked people off. I just don't know if he's bucking off DC. So right now I'm with Team DC. I'm going to try to work an argument and bring you the Black Beast side of things and probably try to pick him. Because that's what I do. That's what the Mystic one does. But it's tough right now to pick the Black Beast in this fight. And if you don't know what we're talking about, DC Black Beast fighting UFC 230 at Madison Square Garden. No Nate Diaz. So that kind of sucks. A lot of new G's over here. So let me explain this to the new people over here that are watching the MMA holes. There's something called
Wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful. Jesse, you could say it.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I can say it. Wonderful, wonderful. Luke Thomas can say it.
Wonderful, wonderful.
That's right. Wonderful, wonderful is our term over here. And this is from the very beginning. We've been only doing this for over 2 years, a little over 2 years. It just hit the 2-year birthday in August. So a couple of months after. And yeah, wonderful, wonderful is our term. And you are wonderful, wonderful. As soon as you subscribe to the MMA holes, you're immediately one of the MMA holes. And you are in trouble because now you are part of this disaster. This cell phone. Inside the cell phone. You are part of this mess. And there's no turning back. So be proud. Be an MMA hole. And be wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
All right, Jesse, what else do we have in the news before we take the phone calls?
Did Cormier make the right choice facing Lewis at MSG? According to ESPN, after much drama, fans finally know who will be headlining UFC 230 in November at Madison Square Garden, New York City. Daniel Cormier will put his heavyweight belt on the line against Derrick Lewis. Cormier, who also holds the UFC's light heavyweight title, previously said WWE superstar Brock Lesnar would be his next opponent. Now that's no longer the case. Did Cormier make the right move coming back to face Lewis? Brett Okamoto, if you guys have not followed him on Twitter, says that's really only for Cormier to determine. Only Cormier knows the extent of the hand injury he's been dealing with since his last fight in July, and only he knows how physically prepared he can be for a 5-round fight that's scheduled less than 4 weeks from now. The reasons to take this fight are pretty obvious. It's a chance for Cormier to fight in a venue like Madison Square Garden before he hangs up his gloves next year, as he said he will. It's a payday, of course, and it's against any opponent who, with all due respect to Lewis's power and sterling record, he will be a heavily favored over. Cormier has never made it any secret how much he'd love to fight Brock Lesnar, so to risk that potential fight here, to me, it just shows how highly he values the opportunities that come with this one. You can also find all of the other opinions on ESPN's website with this article found on the MMAholes.com. But the main question is, did he make the right choice to face Lewis at MSG?
I say, Jesse, what do you say?
Yeah, 100%.
So me and Jesse say, I mean, listen, his hand is miraculously better to fight Derrick Lewis. He's stood next to him. He's seen Derrick fight. Derrick coming off of a quick turnaround, pretty much lost the fight versus Volkov. And, you know, he does get that big finish at the end, but didn't look very good against Volkov. DC must be foaming at the mouth and be like, please, Papa Dana, please, just give me that at UFC 230, and you got your boy. Your boy is ready to fight. Interesting that Jon Jones and Daniel Cormier turned down each other. From sources, Daniel Cormier and Jon Jones have turned down each other for this rematch. So that's why we're getting this thing over here, which is odd to me. I mean, I kind of get why DC did it. I kind of get that. But why Jon Jones? Or did Jon Jones do it because he knew DC didn't want to fight him?
Well, you know what? Both of them said that they didn't want to fight. It wasn't just Cormier. Jon Jones didn't want to fight either, at least according to interviews.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do you think that, and this is my thoughts, right? Because my thoughts are very popular around this community, as you can see in the comment section in previous videos. But I think what Jon Jones did was this. He knew that Daniel Cormier didn't want to fight him. So he's like, all right, I'm not going to give you all the credit for this. I don't want to fucking fight you now. How about that? I don't want to fight you. So fuck you. I think that's what Jon Jones did. I think instead of DC, you know, getting the upper hand saying, well, I don't want to fight you, Jon Jones is like, well, I don't want to fight you either. It's like,
you
know,
think so?
Yeah. It's like when kids like fight over a hot girl, but the hot girl's not interested in either of them. Well, like, well, I didn't think she was hot in the first place. They both don't think the fight's hot.
I don't know if that's the case. I think they just genuinely aren't interested. I don't think it was out of spite that Jones said no, because now it could have been because Jones did say no after Cormier. Cormier was the first one to turn it down, but and maybe, you know what? I never thought about that. I gotta be honest, I never took that into account. That could very well be a possibility. Maybe Jones, after Cormier turning it down, Jones didn't want to look like an idiot and just, you know,
be begging for a fight that he already won technically two.
Yeah.
Well, really once, but you know, two if you're not counting the one that got swiped away.
It's possible. It's very possible.
All right. What else do we have in the news? JBH.
I have been, Isaiah Moore, I have been eating some chicken soup.
Yeah, Jessie's still sick, by the way. Shout out to Jessie for trooping along. I see some people like open them phone lines. In 10 minutes, we will be opening up the lines. We're almost done with the news. Make sure you check us out on iTunes and Podbean for the audio versions of these shows. And that's right, when you donate, you become the star of the show with the Podbean and iTunes. It does cross over very nicely. So if you have something horrible to say, drop in a super chat, or if you just love what's going on.
Super chat.
And if you love what's going on, you know, you can do it as well. If you want to play one of these ridiculous songs down below, well, check those songs out and you can interrupt the show at any time. All right, what do we got?
All right. Khabib Nurmagomedov meets with Vladimir Putin following his win at UFC 229, according to MMA Fighting. UFC lightweight champ Khabib Nurmagomedov has met with Russian President Vladimir Putin following his dominant title defense over Conor McGregor at UFC 229. In a video shared on Twitter, the Eagle is seen sitting alongside his father, Abdullah Manap, Nurmagomedov chatting with the Russian leader. I can't read what the quote said on Twitter because I don't speak Russian, but it was translated saying, "I will ask your father not to punish you too strictly because you achieved the main task worthily and convincingly." This was from Putin. Putin is, of course, referring to Nurmagomedov's post-fight antics where fans saw him leap out of the octagon and attack McGregor's training partner Dylan Dennis mere moments after securing victory. With Nurmagomedov tussling in the crowd, his teammates swarmed the octagon to confront McGregor, with one striking him from behind. Following his melee, Nurmagomedov apologized for his actions before revealing whatever punishment he was set to receive would not compare to what awaited for him in Dagestan. He said, quote, "My father teach me you have to be always respectful. I know my father is going to smash me when I get home." His father later confirmed his son's fears, saying, quote, "I will impose a punishment tougher than the UFC's. I warned him. For me, discipline comes first. You do whatever you want in the octagon, but outside, this is the border of civilians where there are children, women, and strangers." During the actual fight, Nurmagomedov, who's 27-0, dominated McGregor 21-4 with his suffocating game plan. While McGregor found some success in round 3, he had no answer for Khabib in the opening 2 frames before scrambling to a neck crank halfway through round 4.
All right, so there you go. There's Khabib with the boss man, Vladimir Putin, hanging out with the father over there. How about Khabib's father saying that he forgives Conor? He doesn't. That's some interesting stuff over there, showing a little respect. And listen, as much as we horsed around and went back and forth, and I mean, I tell you what, it got ugly for a couple of days over there. And I admittedly had a little too much fun with it. I really did. Like, what I've noticed is this. Khabib fans are very super supportive. So credit for that. You want to back your guy.
Yeah.
It's the funny people that just basically, no matter who Conor fights, they just support that person. Like you see it over and over again, and doing the show for 2 years, like you wean them out. And it's like, dude, you got to root against everyone like that. And it's cool to root against a guy. Like it's like me with the Yankees, right? I hate the Yankees. I'm from New York. I'm a Met fan, right? And I root against any team that's playing the Yankees. I'm that team's, I root for that team. But when the game is over, I'll talk a little shit to my friends, and then that's it. It's the end, This goes on for like weeks and months, and it's just like, you die, I kill you. It's like, what the fuck? So credit to the hardcore fans out there, and the Russian fans, they are hardcore. But to the other ones that are weaseling themselves in, it's just like, it's so cringy. It's super cringy. Like, I don't know. Talk your shit during the fight and then let it go. I don't know. Have sex. Try that. That's kind of cool, right? Try to have some intercourse. That works. Or just jerk off. I don't know. Some people are very frustrated.
Oh, no. Sean Hart, you're right.
What happened?
Our pizza slid.
Oh, my God. This is unbelievable. Jessie's about to fix the pizza. It's your lucky day. She's getting up all sickly. She's putting the pizza back on the wall. The pizza is secured. Well, not yet. Okay, it's almost there. Hold on. It's good enough. There it is. The pizza's back on the wall. The pizza is back on the wall. It's a fantastic thing. So there you go. All right, so listen. That's that. All right, what else do we have in the news? JBH on the MMAholes.com.
Ryan LaFleur announces his MMA retirement after more than 10 years, 10 UFC fights.
How about that? Ryan, I just saw Vlad's post over here. All right, we're going to get back into that. So Ryan LaFleur, who was on the MMA Holes, actually at Triton Fights, we met him. Real nice guy over here, had a nice little run in the UFC, but, wasn't anything devastating. Not getting much finishes over here, and now it's up. It's it. It's over. Tell us the story, JBH.
After 10 fights in the UFC, welterweight Ryan LaFleur today said he's hanging up his gloves. LaFleur, who is 14-3 in MMA, 7-3 in the UFC, this past Saturday opened the prelims at UFC 229 with a third-round knockout loss to Tony Martin, who's 14-4 in MMA, 6-4 in the UFC. The setback gave LaFleur losses in 2 of his final 3 fights. The 35-year-old said in an Instagram post that injuries throughout his training camp and entire career helped push him to this decision, and that because he wasn't fully prepared mentally and physically, he knew now was the time. The full text of LaFleur's statement is as follows. Saturday night didn't go my way. This is a very unforgiving sport. You either win or lose. You have to be all in to be successful. Mentally, I wanted to be there, but I have been plagued with injuries this camp as well as my whole career and tried to fight through them and keep a positive attitude. As I started making my final weight cut, I started breaking down. I've always told myself the second I'm not there mentally and physically, I will be hanging my gloves up. I'm proud and passionate about this sport. To not give everything I have and my body is really starting to pay the toll. After 10 plus years as a professional mixed martial artist and 5+ years with the UFC, it hurts to say this, but Saturday, October 6th was most likely the last fight of my professional career. I wanted to thank the UFC for allowing me to do what I love and give me the opportunity to travel around the world and showcase my skills. Thank you to my coaches, Keith Trimble, and all of his coaches were listed, for putting in the extra time for me.
All right, we get it. So Ryan LaFleur, listen, he was on the MMA Holes, and the guy, he's kind of going to ride off into the sunset, and no one's going to care, right? Let's be honest. Yeah, I like to back the New York guys and the Long Island guys, and he was nice enough to come on. But and in person, he's a evil, like not a mean person, but he's got that look that you're like, yeah, I'm not fucking with this guy. Ryan LaFleur is a fucking badass, but he says goodbye. He says goodbye to the sport, and I guess what's going to happen is we're going to see him around the local scene a lot, because we've been seeing him in corners over here, taking care of all the Long Island fighters. So, see ya, Ryan LaFleur. Peace out, I guess. So, Ryan LaFleur, bon voyage. What else we got?
Last topic of the night.
All right, get ready. We're going to open up the motherfucking phone lines. We want to get your calls tonight. There are a lot of things to talk about. UFC 230, UFC 229. We didn't get your phone calls, so tonight we get them. Khabib versus Conor McGregor.
All right.
The brawl.
Fedor Emelianenko reacts to the UFC 229 brawl, according to MMA News.
Stone cold killer right here. Look at that face.
Yes.
Serious.
Yes. Emelianenko was asked for his take on the brawl ahead of his own bout this Saturday, October 13th. He told USA Today Sports the following via MMAJunkie.com, saying, quote, "Fighters have a responsibility to act normally. It's very important to be able to control yourself and never actually use your physical strength in everyday life." Emelianenko will go 1-1 with Chael Sonnen in the main event of Bellator 208. This will be a semifinal bout to determine who moves on to the finals of the Bellator Heavyweight Grand Prix. The winner of Ryan Bader versus Matt Mitrione one night prior will meet Emelianenko or Sonnen on January 26, 2019 in Los Angeles. MMA News will provide you live coverage of both semifinal bouts in the Bellator Heavyweight Grand Prix. When the finalists are decided, the stage will be set to finally determine a new Bellator Heavyweight champ. The promotion hasn't had a heavyweight title bout since April 2014. Looking back, do you think the UFC 229 brawl is a big deal or overblown?
Fedor, the man of many expressions, staring right into your eyes right now, right into your soul, will be fighting this weekend against Chael Sonnen. That is happening on Saturday night. We have Bader versus Mitrione, and that is happening on Friday night. We'll be doing a live reaction to both of those Bellator cards, so if you're not subscribed, give us a sub. All of our stories are on the MMAholes.com. That's where you can find these stories, and we have links to all the websites where you can check it out for yourself.
Indeed.
All right, so here we go. Let's do it. I want to hear your thoughts on this.
I will give the number.
Hold on.
Yes.
UFC 230.
Yes.
Which we have a lot of stuff. Derrick Lewis versus Daniel Cormier. We have Nate Diaz is off the card. Dustin Poirier gets hurt. We also have Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. Interesting fight between the two. Over here, an interesting fight card and a very interesting brawl that happened afterwards. Jessie.
Yes.
I need you to look into their eyes and tell them the phone number.
516-522-0267.
That's right. That is the number, 516-522-0267. Call in. Make sure you check us out on iTunes and Podbean. As I stumble across that. Check out our sponsors, TygerLyfe Energy, Duplex Entertainment. Links are in the description. And we are sipping on TygerLyfe. Well, she has TygerLyfe in Proper 12. I just finished my Proper 12. And give me a little bit more, Jessie, if you don't mind. Please. As we take this phone call. A couple of phone calls. Look at this.
Yes, John Hart, we recommend Venom. I got it.
You are. Go ahead.
517, you're live with the MMA Holes. What's your name? Where are you from? And what's on your mind?
Okay, I got a question.
Shoot.
Okay, so how did you guys start living together?
Can you hold on a second? Can you just talk a little clearer? I can't. You sound like you're underwater.
Living together?
I know. I heard the question.
How did you guys start living together?
Well, here's the
Did
thing.
Papa J kick her out? Did you invite her over? What happened?
Well, Cow, thank you for calling. And thank you for having the new phone number. That's a good move. But yeah. So what happened was this. JB, that laugh. that fucking laugh. Anyway, and and everyone welcome Cow to the line. So Jessie came over here. What happened here? The parents kicked you out, right?
Yeah, parents kicked me out.
They kicked you out, and they're like,
they said you've been here for too long, and your job doesn't have health care, and you need to get a life. That's what they said.
And there you go.
And then I met this guy, and I was like, I found my life.
That's it. Your life is here, the MMA Holes, and now your life is ruined. 516-522-0267. Call in as Cow is calling in. The laugh is like, what the fuck is going on? Let us know what you think about UFC 229 and what you think about UFC 230. 773 live with the MMA Holes. What's your name and what is on your minds?
What's up? It's Kevin from Chicago.
Kevin, what's up, man?
So you need three things to beat Conor. You need good wrestling, you need good conditioning, and you need a good chin. If you have those three things, you'll beat Conor all day. And you need three things to beat Derrick Lewis. You need the same thing. You need good wrestling, you need to be able to take a shot, and you need to have good conditioning. Those things will beat these strikers all day. They'll beat them every time. I think you see what they did with Sean O'Malley. They're trying to promote him, Darren Till, fighters like that. They need to get challenged before they get this high up. I don't even think Derrick Lewis faces a wrestler, has he?
Derrick Lewis, jiu-jitsu, Brazil. I gotta look through his. Let's see. Yeah, I don't. Not that off the top of my head, I don't remember a solid wrestler. No, I don't remember that, and not like DC. I mean, no one nearly as solid as DC. I know you push wrestlers, and listen, I mean, you have a good argument here when it comes to the wrestlers. I mean, it used to be the Brazilians. When I started watching the sport, it used to be like Brazilians were unstoppable, like that. Their jiu-jitsu was on point, and they were strangling people left and right. Now it seems like wrestling is the thing. Like wrestling, the power of the wrestling is the way to go. Why do you think the reason for that is, Kevin?
I think it's just they've been battle tested. They got like a physicality about them that they won't be deterred. They can get cracked and keep moving forward. They got a good will about them.
Did you just call me a turd?
I think that's really much what it comes down to. And did you see that Jordan Johnson dude who beat the dude in Russia, the Chechen dude?
No, tell us about him.
Well, it looks like he's going to be signing somewhere else because UFC don't want to pay him any money.
Really?
So it sounds like he's going to be. Yeah, he's a wrestler, and so you know how the UFC treats wrestlers. They're going to try to get rid of him before he beats up their flashy strikers.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee if he went against Israel Adesanya, he would destroy Adesanya. But I know the UFC don't want that. They want to keep promoting these flashy strikers, and that's why they did. You see how they're pushing Sean O'Malley? Who did he beat? He beat that Asian dude, Andre Sukata, and everyone's talking, oh, he's the next big thing. It's just all bullshit.
Listen,
but what do you think about this this Bellator card this weekend? I think they got a fight on Friday and Saturday.
I tell you what, I
can't wait. I can't wait for the Bellator cards.
We got the local guys here, so it's like there's a little bit more fire. I'm a little more excited about it, but I like the heavyweight Grand Prix. The welterweight one, we're gonna see what happens with that. But so far, the heavyweight Grand Prix is a fun circus. I mean, they're not true heavyweights, not everybody, but I'm kind of into it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this Fedor versus Sonnen fight. I think this is the most competitive fight. I think Bader should run through Mitrione if he doesn't try to get fancy and cute. Just go back to what got him there. But I don't know. Can Sonnen handle Fedor, take him down and control him, ragdoll him? Because Fedor's got a good sambo background. He's not easy to take down. He's going to be a lot heavier than Sonnen. So I think that's going to be a good matchup.
All right, Kevin.
Just, will Sonnen get clipped and knocked out? Because Sonnen's never been knocked out. I don't think he's ever been knocked out, and he's had a bunch of fights. So let's just see if Sonnen can avoid being knocked out and grind out Fedor. So it'll be Chael Sonnen versus Ryan Bader for the finals.
All right, thanks for the call, Kev. Kevin's good. I tell you what, he's good. He calls all the shows, but sometimes you gotta cut him loose. I made the mistake of Fedor, his last fight. I was like, yeah, Mir's gonna take him out, and it's gonna be Fedor's he's gonna take a nap. And that didn't work out too well. And I'm leaning towards Chael. I think Chael's going to hump the fuck out of Fedor. But Kevin makes a good point, man. Fedor's got, he's got some ground skills. He can stuff the takedown. I don't know, man.
I'm rooting for Chael.
You're rooting for Chael?
I'm rooting for Chael. Fedor scares me. He scares me because
he should.
Good.
He's like arguably the greatest of all time.
Yeah, he's great. But maybe it's Chael's personality. Maybe this is a biased pick of mine. One of the other biased picks of mine. There's something about Chael that's just likable to me. I could root for Chael in this fight.
Now that's interesting. Yeah. That is very interesting that you can root for Chael. I mean, Chael was actually on the show briefly when he fought on the New York card. Chael called us the MMA hoes, so thank you, Chael, for that.
He loves us.
I have a soft spot for Chael, and shocker, I have a soft spot for Conor, and I have a soft spot for Chael. But Chael's one of the guys that got me into the sport. He's one of the guys that dragged me in. The Chael Anderson days. Anderson Silva was my favorite back in the day, just inside the cage. But Chael with the antics outside of the cage.
The original shit talker.
He fucking cracked me up. And I still think he's funny. Like, I like the way he sells a fight. And not for nothing, when he gets on top of you, yeah, there's some steroid abuse back in the day. But when Chael gets on top of you, Rampage, you're in trouble. You're in deep trouble. And Chael Sonnen, if he gets on top of Fedor, I see the same thing. So I got to go Chael for the win. I'm probably going to eat a hard L when Fedor knocks him out in the first round. But I'm going Chael for the win. Jesse, what do you say, Chael?
Chael, 100%. I will always, Chael's probably one of the fighters that I might have a biased opinion on.
Okay.
Always.
Chael Sonnen, two old peeps in the cage, Bellator, this weekend. What do you say in the chat, Chael or Fedor? I want to show you guys something in a second. Jess, what's going on there?
Marky Wahoo says USADA should at least have a female division testing the fighter's sperm. Meet the fighters in the middle for showing up at all hours of the day. Steve Johnson says, if you like the way he sells the fight, then you like pro wrestling promos. Brian Royer says, in fairness, who hasn't done roids? Ricky Spanish says, no way, LOL.
You know what? But here's the thing,
Fedor.
like, you got to sell the fight. That's, like, the analogy to the pro wrestling thing, I could see Chael being the closest to it. It is the closest to it because Chael does rip off WWE, but a lot of people say Conor's like WWE, and I don't see that because Conor literally wishes you die.
Right.
So blue lips and I'm going to put you in a coffin.
Well, you only said
that
to Khabib.
So I guess I see what he's saying with Chael because Chael does go over the top, but at the same time I can't criticize it because you got to sell the fight, right? I mean, Chael's numbers have been pretty damn good.
Right.
So what do you want him to do? Just kind of Rory McDonald, just be like, or like Fedor, and just kind of be a man of few words. You got to sell the fight a little bit.
Yeah, well, Chael's always been good at that.
All right. So here we go. We're going to look inside on the MMAholes.com. Vlad, swole sexy Vlad comes in. He puts the cell phone of Mike Tyson, the Mike Tyson clip over here. And then we're going to scroll down. And here is what Vlad shows. And Vlad might have cracked the case. A Casio. This one over here, it does look like it. Hold on. Casio? Okay. Jesse, what do you say? What do you think?
I say it's still an Asian person who traveled time with a smartphone.
It's close. It's very, very close. But if you look at the top of the phone, and if you're listening on iTunes and Podbean, apologies, you're just gonna have to watch it on YouTube. But it has similar, like has this little stripe over here, but you can't really see the indent, Jesse.
Yeah.
And the way this is up top over here, it's close, but in fact, I think it's a time machine. It's a fucking time machine, Jesse.
I agree. I think it's a time machine.
What do you say in the chat?
Internal says, don't mess with Mother Russia.
Super chat.
We got Now and Later jumping in.
Give Hughes credit for proving wrestling beats BJJ.
You know what? That's Now and Later. Shout out to you,
Wrestling
motherfucker.
beats BJJ.
Matt Hughes. Fantastic.
But can we really use one fighter to determine what set of fighting beats another? Like, can you really do that?
The answer is yes.
Why
Now
would
and
you
Later,
think so?
that might be your finest donation ever.
Because
that might be.
If we go back to Hoyce Gracie, who was jiu-jitsu, then
Yeah. So what does that prove?
So my point is, we can use any fighter who's good at one skill set.
Jiu-jitsu. No. What he's saying is wrestling beats jiu-jitsu.
But he's using a fighter as an example.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, we can't really use one fighter as an example for why one skill set beats another.
The first person. He's the first person that really put it on the map, is what he's saying. Like the first superstar Hall of Famer that put it on the map over there. And that's a good one. I'm gonna have to say, yeah, that is Hughes. Shout out to the fucking goat over there. 20 likes. We got 100 in the books. We're gonna open up the phone lines. Get your calls in. Thanks for the donations.
I've got fucking 20 likes.
20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes.
I hope the dislikes die of leprosy.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am having a wonderful, wonderful time.
Wonderful.
I hope you're having a wonderful.
Wonderful.
You having a wonderful, wonderful time?
I'm always having a wonderful, wonderful time.
It is a wonderful, wonderful time.
I have a wonderful, wonderful time anytime we go live on the MMA Holes.
That's right. The most ridiculous MMA show on YouTube, and I love every minute of it. Let me know in the chat if you're having a
wonderful
time. All right, here we go. Let's open up the phone lines again. 516-522-0267. UFC 230. Nate Diaz off the card. Daniel Cormier versus Derrick Lewis. We have the Conor McGregor versus Khabib fight that happened this weekend. Let us know what you think.
609, you're live with the MMA Holes. What's your name, where are you from, and what is on your mind?
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I had a little on my TV. This is Coach Tony D from New Jersey on a thought for 229.
All right.
And Khabib. I've wrestled my whole life. And I analyzed how he's beating everybody. and he's beating everybody very simply by using a Navy ride.
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on one second. We got a donation coming in.
Come take them belts off me.
Yeah, hold on one second.
Matt proved wrestling beats jiu-jitsu. Ha. Ever heard of Dylan Donnie's? Undefeated and never lost a single round.
Nice, Vlad.
Yeah, thank you, Vlad. All right, go back to your point. I actually want to hear this.
Yeah, I'm interested in this.
Yeah. Okay, so my thought is, as soon as he gets the takedown, I mean, the best is wrestling. No matter how you figure it, it's wrestling. And if you could beat wrestling, then you're going to do good. So as soon as he takes him down, he amazingly just holds him for a second. He stops his game. You'll see him stop. He'll put his weight on him. And then the Navy ride with the legs goes in. So now he's wrestling with all four tables, all four parts of the table, two arms and both legs. And he locks up the legs, and he beats everybody with that. Now, as soon as they could figure that one out, and they could counter it, and how you counter it is, you just don't get in it. You see it coming, and you get out of it. It's simple stuff. But that's how he's beating them. And then when he jumped over the fence, you got to think, if Conor McGregor jumped over the fence, they would have arrested him. Even if they were in New York, he would have been arrested. So Khabib jumps over the fence, starts the whole thing. My thought on it is simple. Great, you won. There's your belt. We're stripping you of the belt. There's your money. Go back to your country. You're 27-0. And the reason why I say this is Dana White said that if any of the three guys that jumped in were going to fight for the UFC, he would not allow them to fight in the UFC. Well, there you go. Khabib, goodbye. That's it. It's simple. That's my thought on it. And it'll never happen again. So, but I see everybody wants Khabib coming back. It's all about money.
All right,
the whole
thank
thing's
you.
about money.
Awesome. Thank you for
That's
the call.
my thought.
All right, there you go. Get out of here.
You know what? He makes a fair point.
Really good point. But
you know what? And
I don't agree.
No.
I don't
But he
agree.
makes a very fair point.
Yeah.
I don't know if Conor would have gotten arrested had he made the same actions, but when it comes to Khabib's wrestling and why he wins all the time, and I've even watched this. Like, I've studied Khabib when he's fighting. There's a reason that I like him so much. And
you studied Khabib. Tell us about this studying.
I have studied Khabib.
Yeah, so you sit there.
It's not
Hold
a
on.
joke.
But what do you wear? Because the audience wants to know.
What do I wear when I study Khabib?
Well, they want to know what you're wearing. Do you wear an MMA Host t-shirt? Do you wear something sexy, some lingerie, perhaps?
Yeah, I wear a thong and no shirt.
Okay, cool.
But I have studied. It's not a joke. I mean, we've watched fights together. Like Khabib, there's something about Khabib that I really liked, and one of it was getting the legs of his opponents into triangles. And when he did it to Conor, when I saw it happen to Conor, I was like, it's got to be over, right? The way that he had Conor's legs locked underneath his. So the way that he pointed out Khabib's his tactics, he makes a very fair point.
There we go. Super chat coming in. Roberto Hernandez.
Have you seen the Diaz brawl with Khabib 2 times?
You know, I haven't. I've seen the Diaz brothers going at it, but I didn't see it with Khabib. I've seen it in the chat, you guys talking about it. Maybe we'll try to pull it. Jesse, see if you could pull that over there. And what Jesse's saying is right. I mean, every analyst has been talking about this. This is not like breaking news. Everyone has been speaking about this. Khabib traps your legs, and we've seen it with Conor. He was like, his legs were straight, packed together. Khabib closes his legs around Conor's legs, and Conor can't fucking move. And then slowly, like a snake, like I said,
creeps up
on the broadcast. I said Khabib is like a snake slithering up Conor's body, and we've seen him do it over and over and over again. And the caller before, which is a good call, you know, how do you stop this? The answer to that is you don't.
Exactly.
You can't stop it.
That call was, I have to say, that was probably one of the best calls of the night. Because that was a very fair point that he made. And now, as far as the whole call, if had Conor jumped over, would he have gotten arrested? I don't think he would have gotten arrested because he's very favored. But I think he would have probably gotten a similar.
The same thing would have happened.
Yeah,
it would have been the same punishment. In fact, I don't even think they would have even let Conor take the mic either. I really don't. If Conor jumped out, especially after the bus incident, I mean, then again, hold on. He did do the bus incident. Say he jumped out and started. Say Conor wins. We're in a bizarro world, right? And by some crazy chance, Conor knocks out Khabib, right? Jumps over the cage and starts doing that. Now, this is his second time doing something asinine, right? Throwing the bus through the window. Conor might get arrested. You know, like if roles were reversed and there was no bus incident, Khabib did the bus incident, it'd be one thing. But if Conor did the bus thing and then he jumps over the crowd and attacks these people,
if Conor was in New York,
you know what, he does get arrested.
No, I would see it happening if Conor was in New York and he pulled that shit. But being in Las Vegas, being in a completely different state where there's no jurisdiction, I could see him just having the same sort of punishment that Khabib did, where it was just take your title, take the money, and
I don't know.
just
Even
kind
after
of
the
lay low
Boston
for a little
incident,
bit.
like thinking about what he said.
That's what I mean. If it took place at MSG, for example, say 229 was at MSG.
No, I'm not talking about MSG.
I'm saying.
But let's not do that. Let's just talk about
I'm saying
MGM.
if Conor pulled these same antics, this is what I'm saying. If he pulled these antics that Khabib pulled, if he was in New York when he pulled them, yes, I believe he would have gotten arrested because he has legal issues in New York. But being in Las Vegas, had Conor pulled that, I think it would have been the same result as Khabib.
He can't fight there.
But I'm saying theoretically.
Yeah. So you're saying no then, right?
No, I don't think he would have been arrested in any other state, right? In Las Vegas. Yeah, I don't think he would have.
So even after he did the bus thing, that's interesting because he already got arrested for something like that.
And you're gonna need a fucking army to come take them belts off.
All right, Marky.
If Conor won, it would have been worse. And where was this Russian hammer in all this is the real question.
It's a good question.
And someone opened my letter today and decided to give it to my woman.
Oh, no!
That little shit. He was looking for a bracelet.
Oh, you know what? We should have dropped. Actually, we'll drop a bracelet with the your TygerLyfe. Yeah, that's hysterical.
Okay, for those of you guys who are just tuning in, Marky Wahoo won a contest 2 weeks ago. And the winner, whoever had the most points, myself or Mystic Moss, had to write a love letter to the highest donator. Marky Wahoo, who is married, won the contest, and I had the least points or something like that, and I had to write a love letter to Marky. And apparently Marky's child decided to pick up the love letter and give it to his wife. So shout out to Marky's wife. It was a contest. He has done no wrong.
Yeah.
He simply won a contest.
We're the MMA homewreckers now. That's what we're called now. Yeah, cool. All right, Marky, hopefully we didn't start too much trouble over there. But Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's hysterical. All right, let's open up the phone lines. Let me know in the chat what you guys think about the Conor situation. I'm going to go, yeah, if it was reversed. At first, I'm like, no, it would be the same thing. But thinking about the bus incident, I have to think Conor gets arrested. I have to. All right, 516-522-0267. Call us up. We'd like to hear your calls. Holy shite.
Unknown caller, you are live with the MMA Hills. What's your name and what is on your mind?
If you find Derrick Lewis funny, you have the humor of a 10-year-old.
What?
And if you find Mike Perry funny, and you think that my balls were hard, that is some fucking 5th grade humor. And everyone's getting all giddy on Twitter and Facebook. Oh my goodness, she's so funny. Look at this. That dude is dumb as a box of rocks.
All right, we got your point. Get out of here. All right, 516-522-0267. What is he talking about? How do you not like Derrick Lewis? You don't think he's funny?
I love Derrick Lewis.
You know, now, all right, in fairness to Kevin, and I guess thank you for the call. Derrick Lewis, Marlon Lane, friend of the show, can't stand Derrick Lewis. There are people that can't stand the guy. Let me know in the chat if you like Derrick Lewis, yes or no. Or find him funny, yes or no. Let me know in the chat. Call back in 516-522-0267. Give us a ring over here and let me know. What do you think about Derrick the Black Beast Lewis?
469, you are live with the MMA Hills. What's your name, where are you from, and what is on your mind?
That guy that hate on Derrick Lewis can suck his big black hot balls.
Whoa. Jesus Christ. Those are some harsh words over there. I take it you're a Derrick Lewis fan.
No, I hate him too. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
All right.
Well, I wanted to get back to talking about the wrestling and then the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like why wrestling is so dominant.
All right, let's hear.
Well, it's more like because that wrestlers always like to be on top. Their whole game is being on top.
Yep.
And that allows you to strike in MMA. In Jiu-Jitsu, they're just so comfortable being off their back, and then they're able to sit in these positions that makes them like get punched.
That's a good point. All right, thanks for the call. All right, we got
now here's my question to that, and it makes sense.
That's a good call.
Wrestlers being on top.
I was waiting for the gay. I was waiting for the gay part of it. Like wrestlers like to be on top, and I was waiting.
Like
but
hey,
how about that? He actually pulled it off.
But I mean, we've witnessed knockouts from the bottom. You know, so I don't think it puts jiu-jitsu people who practice jiu-jitsu at a 100% disadvantage. against the
You don't really see it much from the bottom. You see submissions from
Yeah,
the
you
bottom.
don't. No, you're right. But we've seen it as my like.
We saw it like once from Price.
And we've seen situations where
what he's trying to say, I mean, what you're trying to say is yes, like Tony Ferguson's comfortable off the back, right? So his jits is good, and you're comfortable there. When it comes to wrestling, you don't want to be on the back. You want to get on top.
Yeah.
You want to get behind, and you want to get it done.
Right.
So it's a more dominating thing, whereas jiu-jitsu, you can submit and find other ways to finish your opponent. So it kind of makes sense. Let me know in the chat what you guys think about that. Listen, we are fans over here. We are not fucking experts.
Yeah,
so.
we're not MMA analysts. So
But I would think you are.
Calm
because
down,
you
Michael
study,
Chapman.
You study the
I only
the
studied
fighters.
Khabib. I only studied. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know why you laugh at me. Like, I did study Khabib. Like,
All right, here we go. I'm going to study this call. You are live with the MMA Holes. What's your name and what is on your mind?
Hey, it's James. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
All right. Thanks for the call, man. What's going on?
I just wanted to comment on the Jones-Gustafsson fight.
Okay.
If I think the Athletic Commission should let Gustafsson wear goggles so Jones can't poke him in the eyes.
Mm-hmm. That's not like a minion. He should go in there like a minion.
Jones is prone to those eye pokes.
Also, I hope Fedor wins the Grand Prix on Bellator.
All right, so you're going Fedor for the win. All right, thank you for the call, man. There you go. You know, I started laughing at him in the beginning, but I think he was nervous.
You know, it's funny, but it's true.
I like that guy.
I mean, how many times does Jon Jones go like that?
Well, he can't do that now.
Fights?
I mean, you can't be
well,
doing
he
that now.
can, but he'll just get caught.
I like that guy. What was that guy's name did he say? I like that guy. It's my favorite call.
James?
Let's take like two more calls. 516-522-0267. You call in. Well, you're going to be on the audio version. Podbean and iTunes is where we're at as well. So go follow us over there and you can catch the audio versions because sometimes you just can't watch. Sometimes you got to be working. You got to be in the car. You got to be driving or doing whatever. Having sex. I mean, this show is great.
Having sex in the car.
Having sex with the MMA holes. So Mike Tyson, this is going to be our new donation over here. Call us about the Black Beast and Daniel Cormier headlining UFC 230, Nate Diaz. You can talk about the fights that happened this weekend over here. Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov at UFC 229, the brawl. Talk about the wrestling versus jiu-jitsu. And we got another call.
503, you're live with the MMA host. What's your name? Where are you from? And what is on your mind?
It's the knitter.
It's the knitter.
And what's up, Ann?
Hey, what's up, Jesse? What's up, Chris?
Not much.
We are wonderful, wonderful. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful.
I am wonderful, wonderful.
Yes!
Wonderful.
All right, I was waiting for that. Ann knows how to do it. Ann knows how to do it.
Ann, you beat me.
That's right.
You beat me, Ann.
The best. All right, so Ann, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. We didn't get a chance to hear your beautiful voice on the Monday show. UFC 229, Conor getting choked out. We were wrong, Ann. It happens. You had the brawl. You have what's going on with UFC 230.
We were wrong.
Let's hear what you have to say about all this stuff.
First, guys, I wanted to say I didn't even get to watch the rest of you guys' show on Saturday or the fights.
What?
Until we got home. Well, there was technical difficulties somehow in some areas. The pay-per-view didn't go through.
I heard about
on
this.
certain like DirecTV
Yeah.
and Dish. So we were worried. We got home like 10 o'clock. So I went ahead and bought the late release. We turned everything off social media. And we stayed up till I think it was 3, 4 in the morning, and watched them.
Wow. Well,
I was shocked.
That's not good. That is not good. Hopefully that never happens over here. I'll definitely off myself on air. All right, so what do you think, though? I mean, now that it's all over and done with, the Conor McGregor versus Khabib, he gets choked out in the 4th round or not cranked out. Then the brawl happens. What are your thoughts with this whole thing, how it unfolded at the end?
Yeah, like I said, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, man, what the heck? Because you couldn't see it from all the different angles, And UFC had that way up high view, so you didn't see anything at first. So I was like, oh, man, that guy just cold-cocked, McGregor, and I didn't see other stuff. And I saw, of course, him flying out of the cage and going after him, like, what the heck, So I was kind of on McGregor's side, that he started, because he started it and stuff. And it's like I was saying, I think it's both their faults. it shouldn't have happened. It's poor Khabib. I mean, it kind of took everything away.
Yeah, I think
I'm just glad he gets to keep his belt now. You know, I was a little upset, but I mean, I'm glad he gets to keep his belt and gets a fine. He gets probably suspended for a while, but I'm glad he didn't.
Well, you know what we got? We have something here. I don't think it's going to be a rematch immediately, but down the road, the UFC has all the footage they need to put together another circus of a fight. So now the UFC has that in their back pocket, right? But it left...
Yeah, you know, I think that would probably happen. I mean, like, they can say they don't like money, but money always talks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody likes money. So to him to say,
okay,
you know, money's not as important, I mean, come on.
What do you think is next?
If both of them enough money, they would do it.
So what do you think is next for them? Do you think there's an immediate rematch? Do you think that Nate Diaz will face Conor, number 3? Do you think Khabib fights Tony Ferguson? What do you see in the future?
Gosh. I would like to see Khabib fight Tony. I would like Tony to get his chance.
Mm-hmm.
And Conor to fight Nate.
All right. So there you go.
That's what I would see.
I agree.
We have NH on the line, 7% extraordinaire. Let's get your thoughts on UFC 230, Derrick Lewis versus Daniel Cormier, main event.
DC.
Yes.
Is that wrestling of his, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it.
DC for the win?
Like everybody's saying, yeah, the wrestlers, you know, once they get on top like that, they're jiu-jitsu, you know, like you said, they like to be on their back and they can do stuff out their back, but man, that wrestling, it's boring. It is. I'm sorry.
But you say wrestling will be the key to the DC victory.
Yeah, DC will beat him. Yes.
And the rest of the card looking fairly decent. Hold on, I'm going to pull it up over here. But, I mean, what a circus, though, right? I mean, our emotions, we get the ladies, and it's still not solidified. Oh, shit. So they did put Eubanks versus Modafferi on 230. I knew they were fighting each other. I just didn't realize it was on 230. So Eubanks is on the card versus the Nerd.
Okay.
And they still have Poirier versus Diaz on here. But, you know, it's funny. No one's talking about Rockhold versus Weidman, the rematch over here. I think that's a good fight, you know? I can't believe no one's really talking about that. Jacare Souza versus Branch. You still got Brunson versus Adesanya. It's not a shit card.
Yeah, it looks pretty good so far. If nobody...
It could be worse.
Nobody else gets hurt or...
Yeah, if this main event falls apart, yeah, we're in trouble. But
or throws a hand truck at a bus and...
Yeah, imagine. Or Derrick Lewis eats the hand truck. You know, who knows?
Yeah, or flies out of the cage.
All right. And you're on fire tonight. All right, and thank you so much for the call. Are you going to be watching Bellator this weekend? You going to be at the casino, or you will be hanging with the holes?
I want to watch Bellator. Hopefully, I don't have to pay for it. I don't want to pay for Bellator. If it's not free, I'm not going to.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but I'm for Chael to win.
Remember, if it's DAZN, if it's on that app, DAZN, DAZN, you can do a free trial and you can get a month free. So you can check it out. Just put an email address in there and just cancel it, you know, when you're done with it.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah.
Life hack. All right, Ann, thanks for the call.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.
We love you too. We love NH. Everyone loves NH, right?
We always love NH.
She is wonderful. Wonderful?
Wonderful.
Well, that's that. NH, we can't take another call. NH, I mean, she's the anchor, right?
NH is always the anchor to every show.
Well, it's that time where we have to wind things down. JBH is properly sick. We have proper 12 cheers. Shout out to our sponsor, TygerLyfe Energy and Duplex Entertainment. Link in the description. Thank you to our donators. Thank you to everyone that joined us tonight. Thanks for the likes. Do appreciate that. Big news. We'll see you this weekend for 2 events. Bellator 207.
We'll see you on Friday.
That's what I said, right? Or no?
This weekend.
Yeah, this weekend. Bellator 207 and Bellator 208. Back-to-back belly-to-belly fight buddies. My throat will be completely done. And we'll have some guests. We're going to have some new guests. Someone
you'll love these guys
before.
All the new people. You'll love them. They're great.
I'm going to give a hint to the people, the OGs of the community. Goose. That's all I'm going to say is Goose. And a broken chair. The return. This Friday and perhaps this Saturday too. So tune in to that. Shout out to our patrons again. If you want to become a patron, a link in the description. For as low as $2 a month, you can be part of our private Discord. Thank you so much to the existing patrons, everyone, for joining us once again live on YouTube, and we have Podbean and iTunes where you can hear the audio version for free. Jesse, look them in the eyes, these swole, sexy motherfuckers. Yawn in their faces, wink, and get ready to say those magical words.
Don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA hole.